Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Oh shit. Hey, what's up, everybody? Oh, how is everyone doing? Because I am having a panic attack, so you can hear me. Perfect. I really hope this goes well. Hey, thank you, Dylan. You look handsome too. Yeah, so I guess the plan was to just, watch a video that I've been wanting to respond to for like 7 months now. But yeah, take a deep breath. But I guess there's no better way to do it than to just, you know, start. So shall we?
You know what I hate? No one seems to hate Star Wars more than the fans themselves.
And there we go. Right off the bat, I fucking despise this statement. Nobody hates anything as much as the fans of that thing, right? Why would someone who doesn't care about Star Wars hate the sequel trilogy if they don't care about whatever? We'll move on.
Apparently, the original trilogy is outdated.
Also, is it too loud? Hopefully not. Yeah, he's not wrong, but it's a pointless argument to make. It doesn't say anything because it's true for every franchise. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me.
The prequels are awful, and we all pretend like the sequels don't even exist.
They fly now? They fly now!
Well, buckle up, guys, because I'm about to blow your mind. You're all gonna kill me when I say this, but I love all Star Wars movies.
Oh my god. It's like 100p. But why? Is it like that for everybody? Yeah, I know. What a hot take though, for real. Like he loves all the movies. But we'll see if that's actually true because I watched this video once 7 months ago. And yeah, we'll see if he actually sticks to that.
I'm sorry, but it's true. That's right. I love them all. I love the Phantom Menace, Rise of Skywalker, all of them. And not just the men, but the women and the children too. Wait, hold up, that came out wrong. Huh? Wait! That being said, there's definitely an unprecedented amount of hate for the sequel trilogy. Some people are even saying that the
I mean, yeah, it's unprecedented, but it's also like unprecedentedly like bad. So, I don't know. I guess yeah, whatever. It is unprecedentedly hated.
sequels are worse films than the prequels. And that's kind of ridiculous.
It's not ridiculous. The prequels are not great, but they are absolutely better written than the sequels.
Remember when I said 2 seconds ago that I love all Star Wars movies?
And like, oh man, to show Obi-Wan here, like, oh, he's like the best part of the prequels. I don't know.
Much as I love the prequels, I can't deny that they're bad films. There are all kind of things wrong with the prequel trilogy that people seem to be in denial about. They're very
No, so I think that's the big difference between like prequel defenders and sequel defenders is the prequel defenders are more than willing to agree with most criticism of these movies. But sequel defenders won't give the same, whatever that word is I'm thinking of. They don't give the same leeway to their films. They won't accept criticism of the films they love, but I don't know. As far as I've seen, most prequel trilogy defenders will say that they're bad movies, but they just love them. Exactly.
Very poorly written, and while the fight scenes were cool, some didn't hold up at all.
Dude, is he saying the Grievous Obi-Wan fight is bad? I get
Cool.
Okay, hear me out.
Some didn't hold up at all.
I understand this one. The Colosseum, it's fairly awkward. But fucking come on. Yeah, and he shows this. So, yes, I will agree this 3 seconds of a 15-minute fight scene is fairly awkward. That's, yeah, solid criticism, I guess. But the rest of the fight scene, I mean, I'll just defer to Shadiversity's video if you haven't seen it. He's got a full, like, hour-long breakdown of this fight scene, and it seems to hold up. Yeah, so I think the big thing with the difference between the prequels and the sequels is you can see an overarching story that, like, makes sense and is cool. It's like the fine details that get fucked up all along the way. But with the sequels, it's just a fucking mess. Like, it's fucked up in every regard. Again, this part is awkward, but he's not showing the other parts of the fight that are cool. Like when Yoda fights Dooku, and honestly, every other part besides this one is fine to me. What's wrong with this one? Wait, hold on. Sorry, I was looking at chat. What's wrong with this fight? Someone explain. He's just showing him. He's not saying anything about him. What's wrong with this one? What's wrong with the Palpatine Windu fight? Yeah, I think I actually agree with that. I think it's just George's directing. Like, I don't know. He's good at writing, I think, big concept stories. But, like, I don't know. When it comes to dialogue and, like, fine details, I don't think he's that talented.
The prequels did exceptionally well with creating the larger world of Star Wars that we all know and love.
Which was absolutely just fucking neutered by the Disney trilogy. Just straight up nuked. But whatever.
While the original trilogy did a great job of doing that as well, it was limited by the technology of its time, and introduced all kinds of species and worlds that we've never seen before. Although the movies themselves on their own aren't very good, the prequels still managed to do one thing right, making Star Wars cool as hell.
Didn't he just say that it made the Star Wars universe bigger? Or no? Didn't he say that the world building was good, and then he just said it did one thing good, and that was make it cool? Like, he said that like 10 seconds ago, right? I'm not crazy.
Worlds that we've never seen before. Although the movies themselves on their own aren't on John Williams, this man carried...
Shit.
And don't even get me started on John Williams. This man carried the whole freaking trilogy on his back.
Yeah, I mean, he did that with the sequels as well. Hello, Galactic Skulls icon.
My back!
The original trilogy is the least controversial of the bunch, although it does have its problems. We're not gonna go there.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird to criticize the original trilogy in terms of, like, the remakes. I don't know. I guess it's whatever.
And then there are the sequel films. Say what you will about these movies, but you can't deny that on their own, they're really solid films told through the visions of great directors.
No, I can deny that, and I do. I hate that argument that if like The Last Jedi wasn't a part of Star Wars, it would have been a great film or whatever, because it's just not true. Like, The Force Awakens, maybe I could see it. The Last Jedi, though, absolutely fucking not. It is a terrible movie. Yeah. There are like 50 plot holes in each movie. And And it contradicts within itself. Like, it's not just contradicting Star Wars universe. It contradicts itself multiple times. So I can deny that, and I do.
There are undeniably problems that each film suffers from, but that's to be expected. These films had exceptionally high expectations considering we hadn't had a Star Wars movie in 10 years. They're all visually gorgeous films with top-of-the-line cinematography, and it's criminal that no one seems to acknowledge its beauty.
That's absolute. Everybody acknowledges its beauty. Everybody. That's like the one thing. Even people who hate the movie will say, "Yeah, it was a beautiful film, but it's still terrible." Like, I don't know anybody who denies that.
I didn't know
Yeah,
there was this
it's.
much green in the whole galaxy.
The sequel trilogy is composed by John
Okay, that was actually kind of funny. I'll give him that one.
Williams, who created unique scores for the characters, and they're incredibly catchy. There's a feeling of magic about these films that the directors capture better than Lucas.
What does that mean? That doesn't mean any. There's a feeling of magic that these directors captured better than George Lucas. How? Why? What is that? What does that mean? Please explain. I don't know.
Or any of the previous live-action Star Wars directors. Above all else, they're inspiring. They tell you that you can be a nobody and still be a...
She's not a nobody. She's the granddaughter of Palpatine. And he knows that. This is after Rise of Skywalker came out. So... wrong.
somebody. They tell you that everyone, even the most admirable leaders, aren't perfect and make mistakes.
So do I need to comment? I feel like chat understands how fucking awful that is.
They tell you that no matter what you did, you can still pick yourself back up and face the mistakes of your past.
Ben didn't do anything. Ben was a fucking janitor. Ben didn't do anything. He was kidnapped and became a janitor. He didn't do anything wrong.
As much as I love the prequel trilogy for its epic fight sequences and its deep dive into the lore of Star
I thought he said the fight scenes didn't hold up.
Wars, none of Lucas's films had thematic meaning.
What? Yeah. What is that? It doesn't have thematic meaning. Yeah, it does. It's like loss, fear of loss, betrayal. I'm pretty sure Yoda like spells out the theme in Revenge of the Sith, which does that in The Last Jedi too.
The prequel trilogy were the stories that Lucas had envisioned as he wrote the original trilogy, but he executed them very poorly.
You are in my very soul,
I agree.
tormenting me.
The sequel films are similar in the sense that the directors were given creative freedom to tell their unique vision for each movie. I should also clarify what I mean. The prequel movies have prominent themes of love, hatred,
He just said they don't.
fear of loss, and entitlement. And those are strong themes, but they don't mean anything to the audience.
Why? Why do they not mean anything to the audience? What theme did The Last Jedi have that meant something to the audience?
There are no meaningful or compelling messages the movies try to tell the audience.
Didn't you just give us a list?
Hatred, fear of loss, and entitlement. And those are strong themes, but
Is
they
that
don't
not-
mean anything to the audience. There are no meaningful or compelling messages the movies try to tell the audience.
Is that not the meaningful message that he's trying to tell the audience? Oh god.
Even the original trilogy has meaningful messages, such as the good and even the worst kinds of people. And the
How is that different from the list he just gave? How is that different?
need for good people to stand up and take action against the corrupt. Before I get ahead of myself, I should also be clear that these are not perfect films either. They suffer from a lack of a cohesive story between each film, which resulted in the final film not feeling like a solid payoff. However, the point of this video is to explain why these films are better than you think they are. We're going to go through each of the 3 films to talk about the faults and what makes them great films. With that being said, let's get started.
Okay. Just to be clear, he said what makes them great films. He didn't say we're going to go through and list the reasons why I like them. He said we're going to talk about why they're great films. So let's go. Holy shit, that's loud. Oh, is that breaking anybody else's ears? I feel like this is gonna get taken down with all this fucking music. Whatever. Dude, what is this music? Oh my god, how long did he get to play this
So
for?
great was how
How did he get away with that?
one of the things that made The Force Awakens so great was how important each character felt to the
The video is 40 minutes long.
movie. Clearly, the sequel trilogy is about Rey and her journey to becoming a Jedi. Yet for this film, you could argue that Finn and Rey share the protagonist roles of this movie. On one hand, we have the story of a stormtrooper turned good, which is a unique and compelling story.
If only it wasn't dropped on this scene. If only that didn't happen. That would be cool.
On the other hand, we have the story of an isolated scavenger who knows nothing of her heritage and goes on a journey of self-discovery. This scene sets the stage for the final scene of the trilogy, which we'll get to later. The main problem that audiences have with this movie is that The Force Awakens is known for being so similar to A New Hope that some consider it to be a soft reboot. It does take
It is. It is. It copies so much. So much.
a lot of elements from A New Hope, including Starkiller Base, but outside of a few similar shots, that's really as far as it goes.
That's not as far as it goes. You just showed Kylo Ren walking up. He had the same intro as there's a whole cantina scene. There was no purpose. There was no reason it had to be a cantina other than that brings back your old member berries of fucking A New Hope. That's the only purpose that scene serves.
There are a lot of original concepts in the movie to call its own movie. For an example, people don't like how similar Starkiller Base was to the Death Star, but that was the point.
No. So here's my big beef with Starkiller Base. The Empire made the Death Star because they were already in control. That was their death grip. That was their, once we have this, no one can rebel. It wasn't their, we're going to take over the galaxy with this. That was their, we control the galaxy with this. Starkiller Base is a gigantic waste of resources. Not that they care about resources, but it's a gigantic, a planet-sized waste of resources. Because you have to be in control to have a weapon like that. Makes sense. You have to be in control to have a weapon like that. Makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense. But what I'm saying is, yeah.
Kylo Ren knew about Vader's fall to the light side right before his death, and he saw that as Vader's greatest failure. He wanted to finish what Vader started.
And I will finish what you started.
Yeah, we actually never got an answer to that, which is funny. But it never gets explained what he's talking about when he says, I'll finish what you started. What do I think of SpongeBob? It was great for 3 seasons. And that is it.
The concept of Starkiller Base is also insanely cool. Ilum is
It just is. Yeah, it's just insanely cool.
the planet that the Jedi used to gather kyber crystals and craft their lightsabers before the Age of the Empire. The planet
It's
was later
insanely cool.
mined to instability due to the amount of kyber crystals that was needed to power the Death Star. You actually see this happening in the video game Star Wars Fallen Order.
Wow, that'd be so cool if we saw it in the movie The Force Awakens, where they, have Starkiller Base. That would be cool. But no, this is cool. This is cool.
After the Empire's defeat, instead of continuing to mine the planet, they simply built the new battle station on the planet itself. It would have been a lot more impactful if they kept Starkiller Base around for at least one more movie. Regardless, it's still a really cool lore detail. The First Order is also criticized for being really similar to the Empire, but again, that's the point. The First Order rose from the ashes of the Empire, and that was the thing.
Hold on, I missed.
The First Order is also criticized for being really similar to the Empire, but again, that's the point. The First Order rose from the ashes of the Empire.
Yeah, but how? We don't find out how. We know nothing about the First Order. It's so obvious. Like, I don't know, man. Like, maybe if we got some kind of story about how they rose, but, you know, it's just, hey, look, stormtroopers, look, it's fun.
And that was the thing. The Empire never really died. There was the Battle of Jakku a year after the events of Return of the Jedi, and then apart from a few minor skirmishes, they just sort of disappeared. But
it would be cool if we saw it.
They were never gone. The First Order is literally the Empire reborn. They plotted their galactic takeover and quickly established dominance by destroying the New Republic. Some people also like to whine about the ending.
That doesn't... I don't know, man. Just destroying the, like, you destroyed 5 planets. Why would the rest of the planets just be like, oh, okay, I guess you're in charge now. Cool. I guess you take over. Good shit, you won. Like,
Fight scene.
Especially after Starkiller Base is destroyed, they're just like, oh no, we kind of... They got, like, ships and stuff. Man, we don't have that shit. Like, what? It doesn't mean anything. None of this means anything. It was all just a fucking... It was just to call back to A New Hope. It doesn't mean anything. God damn.
But those who whine don't really get it.
We're not done yet.
Kylo Ren was literally shot in the chest by Chewbacca's bowcaster.
That's his hip. He literally grabs his hip. It doesn't matter. It's not a big deal, but whatever.
Which was seen multiple times before, sending stormtroopers flying into the distance.
Yes, why didn't it send him flying? Why didn't it do that to him?
He was literally beating his chest during the battle, trying to null the pain.
No, it's... there's no in-movie explanation, but... The Sith get their power from pain, so it should have made him stronger, right? Guess not.
And he held back fighting Rey because he wanted Rey to join him. The moment Rey tapped into the Force, she was able to use these factors to overwhelm him. From that moment...
Yeah, it's ridiculous. She tapped into the Force. Was he not using the Force the whole time? Why does her tapping into the Force make it so she can win?
On, Kylo Ren was...
He's already tapped into it. He's tapped it. He's tapped it from the front and the back, I'm sure.
Prepared to face Rey again. Enter Han Solo.
God, Han Solo is such a fucking disappointment. Like... Why? Why is he A New Hope, Han Solo? It's not because they just wanted to have meaningless callbacks, I'm sure.
We're home.
A lot of his character is driven by nostalgia. A lot of people question why Han Solo left Leia and the rebellion. People wonder why he went off to do his own thing again. Some argue that it's out of character for him.
Yeah, that's true. Some random fucking Imperial gave him the name Solo. Yeah, JD Rangers. That's exactly... Oh, dude, somehow Palpatine returned might be the most insulting line from any movie ever made. That's like... That's exactly how you said. Somehow it were returned. Just wow, crazy how that can happen.
And you're right. The canon material outside of this movie does a better job of showing the reason for why he is where he is in The Force Awakens. For the sake of this review, I can't really justify his actions based solely from this movie, but the important part about Solo's character is that there's still a part of him that believes in the Resistance cause.
Is he saying that? So he doesn't like Han Solo's character then, which I agree with.
It's obvious that something's happened between him and Leia, but he still feels attached to her and cares deeply for her. And that's the critical part about him that makes him different from who he was in the original trilogy. He cares. Back in A New Hope or Empire Strikes Back, he didn't care for the rebel cause.
Wasn't that was his whole journey?
He saw Luke as a brother and had feelings for Leia, but without them, he would have left the cause a long time ago. In Return of the Jedi, he returned to the rebellion and saw it through to the end. But clearly he didn't believe in the cause long enough to stick around, because the next time...
Because why? Because why? That's the thing, man. We don't see it. We don't know. Yeah, exactly. More headcanon. That's all this is. Yeah, it's him saying, oh, well, there must be a reason Han Solo went back. There has to be. He wouldn't just do that. So, but hold on. But the movie's still good. So, there must be a reason.
Time we see him, he's a smuggler again. When Han meets his son for the first time in the film, he doesn't care about the danger around him. He doesn't care that he approached an extremely hostile Kylo Ren. He didn't care that it was Kylo Ren. He cared that under all of that hatred was his son, Ben Solo.
I guess. I don't really know what that even... What does that mean for his character? Because he obviously... I can't remember. Did he leave Leia after Kylo Ren went bad or before? Yeah, I mean, it doesn't mean anything. He just dies, and it's not like he goes on some redemptive arc because he's like, oh my god, my son, I want to save him. He fucking dies, so it doesn't mean anything. Ugh.
And that's the story of Han Solo. And that's all I have to say about The Force Awakens for now.
Oh, now we get to the good stuff. Dude, this music, how does he get away with this? Oh my god. I mean, this stream's probably already gonna be taken down, so whatever. Oh, dude, I was actually thinking about making a video on the new well, actually on the whole Jurassic Park series, but the new movies are terrible. The people don't get what they want this time because I'm not fucking seeing over this shit.
It would be an understatement to say that this is the most controversial Star Wars film of all time. In fact, I'd go as far as to say this is the most controversial movie of all time, period.
I actually don't know how I feel about that statement. I'm trying to think of what could be more controversial. I feel like in terms of like total volume of people, probably, but there have been some shit that was like actually horrible made, like deplorable shit, but I just don't know. So
the toughest thing about this movie is that as a fan, you either hate this film and love The Rise of Skywalker, or you love this film and hate The Rise of Skywalker, and there's absolutely no in between.
No. Wrong. I hate both of them. What a just I got it. What? Hey, is there anybody in here who either hates both The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker or loves both? Hate both, yes, I agree. I wonder if there actually is. There are 66 people in here. Maybe there is one who likes both. I doubt it though. There are two options Fucking take it or leave it. God, what a joke.
As someone who didn't like this film at first, I'm here to make the film more controversial than it already is.
I know what I have to do.
This movie is amazing.
Oh,
I know what you're thinking.
oh, his subscribers. No. How could he say such a hot take that like I want to say like 45% of people agree with? I think more people hate it than love it, but it's pretty strong in the love department. Oh, Solo. That movie. That thing on what does fucking Obi-Wan say? It doesn't count.
What kind of idiot actually likes The Last Jedi?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Well, where do I start? The biggest problem this movie suffers from is trying to fit in too many messages and themes into one movie.
Okay, so before, the prequels had no messages. Now this one has too many messages, but this movie's amazing, and the other one is bad because you were too dumb to understand the messages.
And as a result, it felt a little convoluted in that respect. But apart from a few nitpicks, that's really as far as it goes.
Oh, a few nitpicks. Oh, yeah, man. Like Force Ghosts being able to use Force Lightning and hit people, and hyperspace kamikazes. They're all just, nitpicks. It's just a few, man. It's just a couple. There's nothing actually big. It's just a couple nitpicks that these little bitches are freaking out about. It's nothing.
This movie dominantly excels in every technical aspect of movie.
Dominantly excels, okay? Every technical aspect. Dominantly excels.
Making. The writing is absolutely top notch.
Well, I mean, wrong. No. I don't think the writing excels. Like, if he was like, oh, every shot is beautiful, the music is amazing, sure. But the first fucking thing he says is the writing. The writing is top notch. Jesus Christ, dude.
And the direction is brilliant. Rian Johnson just has this unique style in his movies, which works exceptionally well in The Last Jedi. Star Wars movies tend to have this weird habit of constantly cutting between the main confrontation and whatever other battle is going on elsewhere. And these sequences are usually really badly edited.
Yes. Yeah. Also, in The Last Jedi, the first time I watched it, when I still was like on the fence about it, the whole time I thought, why are we going back and forth between Finn and Rose and Rey and Luke? All I care about is Rey and Luke. I don't give a shit about this B plot. Let's see what he has to say about it.
This problem began first with Return of the Jedi. Luke and Vader was the most interesting conflict, but it cut a lot between the space battle and the whole ground battle involving stormtroopers and teddy bears.
Yeah, I think the space battle was way better. Like, I don't think cutting between the Vader fight and the space, because the space battle is like, that's like the main rebel conflict. The ground battle was too. I don't know. I honestly don't mind it. But I do agree that the Vader Luke fight was the most interesting part. But like, I don't know.
It didn't improve when The Phantom Menace and the rest of the prequels came around, but Rian Johnson broke that cycle and did it really well. The first half of the movie is centered on the conflict with the Resistance and built up to the second act. By the time we got to the throne room sequence, not only was it well edited, but we equally cared about the Resistance conflicts as well. This movie...
Did we? Did you guys... Did you guys equally... Like, he says we equally cared about the so he, I mean, obviously he's talking for you guys. Do you guys agree with that, or fucking is he just, talking out of his ass, telling you how you feel? Oh, fuck. Whoops.
Not only was it well edited, but we equally cared about the Resistance conflicts as well. This movie also established the first bit of world building during this time period, which is really scarce in this trilogy. You really get to see how the emergence of the First Order affected planets such as Canto Bight. Although
The First Order didn't affect this planet.
the whole sequence
That kid is like 11 and he grew up as a slave. That was under the New Republic. The fucking impotent, neutered New Republic. It's worthless. It's nothing. It's not world building. It's nothing. It's fluff.
didn't do much to push the story forward. It gave us a glimpse of the outside world. You can't pretend that this is the first time Star Wars has sequences that are pointless to the overall story of the film. In A New Hope, the trash compactor scene
Nobody's denying that. The only difference is this took up 45 minutes of the movie. It took up a very significant portion of the movie. And plus, we already had great world building. That was neutered. Absolutely nuked. Fucked in the ass by Disney.
scene didn't really do much to push the story forward. In The Empire Strikes Back, it was a 10-minute long space chase.
10-minute long. 10 minutes. The B-side plot with Rose and Finn was 45 minutes. 45 minutes.
In Return of the Jedi, it was a stupid dance scene. Episode 1, the political sequence.
The political sequence was not... It pushed the story forward. That was the whole... That's the whole behind the scenes of the Phantom Menace. That's like the whole point of the Phantom Menace. Is the political sequence. We are 11 minutes into this 40-minute video. That's true. And we're 40 minutes into this stream. So, by my calculation, we have 2 hours left to go.
Episode 2, the lovey-dovey scene. Episode 7, Conja Club. Star Wars is notorious for including scenes that feel pointless.
How long was Conja Club? It wasn't 45 minutes.
To the overall story. But they're done because they either add to
Wait, explain. Are you telling me explain myself or explain himself?
the lore, or they're there to let the audience spend more time with the characters. In The Last Jedi's case, it was both. The most common complaint I hear in Star Wars is when Star Wars tries to do something new. I mean, it's Star Wars.
That it's not about doing something new. You can do new things. It's about contradicting old things. It's about ruining the stuff that came before.
You can literally do whatever you want.
No, you literally cannot. You literally have rules that are set in place by the previous films. Rules that those old movies rely on to have stakes. And you ruin them.
You're allowed to create new concepts to existing idea.
Yes, you are.
That's literally sci-fi. Just
It's literally fiction.
because it wasn't established before back in the first film in 1977 doesn't mean that it can exist.
No one ever said that. But if it breaks the old films, then yeah, don't fucking do it.
Some people also argue that Rian Johnson doesn't understand the characters, such as Luke and Kylo Ren. So let's start with the most controversial character of the movie,
Controversy?
Luke Skywalker. That's right. He just did that.
Oh my god, he just did that. He just did that.
Luke Skywalker, the character you know and love from the original Star Wars 1980s movies, just tossed his own lightsaber off a cliff.
Yeah, because he feels bad about trying to murder his nephew in his sleep.
Thing about Luke is that everyone's expectations for him was that Rey would magically rescue him from his exile and they'd rush off together in the galaxy to defeat Snoke, Kylo Ren, and the First Order.
You know why that's people's expectations? is because that's what Luke Skywalker would have done. That's what Luke Skywalker would have done.
And let me tell you, that would not make for a good film.
Maybe not. Maybe it wouldn't have been. That's what Luke would have done, though. That's what this Luke would have done.
Yes, there was a time when he defeated Darth Vader and Emperor Palpatine in an entire duel over the moon of Endor, which allowed Vader to fulfill the prophecy of the Chosen One and restore balance to the Force. The thing is, that Luke was extremely lucky. He had a culmination of only uno years of training before he went to fight Vader, who had been a skilled...
I don't think that's true. He had a year on Dagobah, and then there's 3 years between Empire and Return of the Jedi. I think it's 4 years.
Fighter all of his life. Both times Luke confronted Vader, Vader held back and encouraged him to join the dark side so that they could fight side by side. Luke
that's true.
only managed to overpower Vader once because Vader was on the defense, and Luke was allowing his anger to control the fight. So why is this all relevant? It's because Luke had been hailed as the legendary Jedi warrior who single-handedly restored peace to the galaxy, and that he's extremely powerful and unmatched. Well, that's not Luke.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Dude, I hate that. I hate that so much. Luke was a beacon, man. He was a beacon of hope and righteousness, and they fucked him. They straight up fucked him. Oh, God, it makes me sick.
The argument that Luke would never instinctively want to kill Ben is wrong.
No, it's not. You just say it's wrong, but it's not. Oh, and the thing is, this could have happened, and it could be fine, but we don't get to see it. We just have to accept that Luke went from this to that in whatever 15 years, 20 years, whatever it was. We just accept that. Like, it would have been, you could have made it. You could have made this happen if we got to see what happened in between. If we didn't get the same flashback 3 times in a row, it could have been amazing, but it was just fucking terrible instead.
After Obi-Wan's death, Luke wanted to kill Vader. It wasn't until much later that he sensed the good in his father. And it's important to remember that Luke reacted on pure instinct. Luke, as well as the audience, realized
why is that his instinct? That shouldn't be Luke's instinct. He's a good person.
how unlike him it was to react the way that he did. But it was too late. Even Luke in Legends made out-of-character decisions. When Palpatine revealed himself in Legends, he immediately bowed before him and turned to the dark side. He eventually did redeem himself when his friends were in danger, but this just goes to show how flawed Luke's character is. Yes, he is known
Why are we talking about Legends? They're not canon.
for seeing the best and the worst kinds of people, but when it comes to himself, he easily doubts himself.
And just saying, oh, this also happened in Legends, that doesn't make... Legends isn't perfect. Yeah, exactly. It's whataboutism. Legends isn't perfect. I'm sure there is some awful shit in Legends. But, my God. Just saying, oh, this also happened in Legends, that doesn't make it good.
And makes mistakes. Luke went into exile because he was never the perfect Jedi. He was a heavily flawed Jedi who wasn't capable of facing the First Order. He didn't return to help with the war because he tried to help by restoring the Order in the first place. But he failed his students. He failed as a teacher. He failed Ben Solo. A lot of people were expecting Luke from Legends, where he became extremely overpowered. But that Luke doesn't make any sense.
He doesn't have to be an insane, overpowered ninja fucker. He can just be Luke. That would be a great start if he was just Luke, you know? But that's not what we got, so...
Realistically, the Luke we know and love from the original trilogy would have become this Luke, someone who tried to live up to his own legend, and failed. When we see Luke in The Last Jedi, he's not the Luke we want.
He didn't try to live up to his own legend. He just started a Jedi Order. He's teaching people. That was it. He was a teacher. I don't know about you, but that's not like legendary by any means. There was no legend for him to.
It's new. He's a broken man. We see Rey desperately trying to revive the old Luke, but he wants nothing more except for the Jedi to end.
It's time for the Jedi to end.
This is something that goes back as far as the prequels. We've seen time and time again that the Jedi are heavily flawed. They have strong morals and methods, but they were always heavily flawed. Anakin was a victim to Palpatine and the Lord of the Dark Side, but if it wasn't Anakin, it would have been someone else down the line. Especially the code of not being allowed to feel emotion. Ben Solo's swift turn to the dark side was inevitable due to the Jedi code being so heavily flawed. Luke knew this and wanted the Jedi to end before it happened again, but
I don't know. Maybe I don't have anything to say.
he knew it was wrong to leave Leia and let the Resistance die when he could have helped, and so he did. At the end of the movie, he portrayed the version of himself that everyone admired, the one that everyone looked up to, not the shell of the man that he is now. Okay, now that the most controversial part is over, let's get to some hot topics. First, Poe in this film is worst character peaks in this trilogy.
Oh, cringe. No, he gets shit on in this movie. If his character peaked at all, it was the beginning of Force Awakens, maybe? No, probably his return in Force Awakens.
It's clear that he's a leader
This
of
is
some
all
sort,
garbage.
but he's incredibly reckless, and he's willing to sacrifice lives for the greater good. Leia knows this and deranks him. This is especially important for the next movie because Poe undoubtedly respects Leia. He wants to be just as powerful as a leader as Leia is, and it really shows. His story of learning to trust others and be less reliant on himself ultimately makes him a better person.
It's not... He doesn't learn to trust others. If Holdo had just told him the plan, he was cool with it. He just wanted to save people. But he wanted to... Yeah, whatever, let's just keep it.
Rey in this movie has lost some of the innocentness she carried from the first movie. After Han's death and Finn's injury in the Force, she's realized that she needs to become a stronger person if she wants to save the people she cares about. Her story in this film is one of self-discovery until she realizes.
Dude, this is the same story we had in The Force Awakens. She had a self-discovery story in The Force Awakens. Mads tells her that her parents aren't coming back and she has to find out who she is. And then this one, she learns that her parents aren't coming back and she has to find out who she is. It's a fucking joke.
Is that she is nobody. She's not anyone special, and there's not a
She never thought she was someone special. She just wanted her family.
particular reason why she's so powerful in the Force, but that alone is what makes her story compelling. You can be a complete nobody and still make a big difference.
That's not her story.
And there's Finn. I loved Finn in The Force Awakens. He was nearly my favorite character. However, most people will argue that
Finn was almost really good in The Force Awakens. But the fact that he forgets that he cares about people is pretty annoying. Especially that he forgets that stormtroopers are, kidnapped kids like he was.
just had the same exact arc in this movie as he did before, but that's wrong. In The Force Awakens, Finn had seen what the First Order was capable of, and he wanted to run away from it all. But he didn't run away, because he bonded so strongly with Rey. The only reason that he stuck around with the Resistance was to save Rey. After learning that Rey was safe with Luke, Finn finally decided to take the opportunity to run away.
He wasn't running away. Finn's motivation was the same. That's the only consistent part of this movie, is that he wasn't running away, he was trying to save Rey. And he gets fucking tased for it.
The Last Jedi was the movie that solidified his status as a Resistance hero. It wasn't until the events of this film when he decided he would be willing to sacrifice his life for the cause.
Too bad I didn't get to.
Finn was just as strong of a character in this movie as he was in The Force Awakens.
You are always scum.
Rebel scum.
Why would he say that? He's Resistance scum. Hey, Peyton, you're the most special person I've ever met. Thank you for that.
I love the way The Last Jedi ended. Some may say differently, but I believe The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi flowed together beautifully. Everyone thinks Rey is some sort of Mary Sue, but
Wait, are we getting an argument against Rey being a Mary Sue? Okay.
she's not.
I guess so.
She's obviously powerful in the Force,
For no reason.
but that's really as far as it goes.
No. Everybody loves her. She saves herself in The Force Awakens. She does it all. She flies better than Poe. Even shit, is it? I'm trying to think. In the ninth in Rise of Skywalker, Chewie, I think, says to Poe that whatever, the fucking Falcon wouldn't have gotten fucked up if Rey was here. Like, that's Poe's thing, and she takes that from him. Okay, wait, hold on.
The last shot of this film establishes that you can literally be nobody and be gifted in the Force. That
Being gifted is different from being as powerful as Rey. They're two different things.
That's the message this movie did so well to tell us. And yes, she does know how to operate a ship. She's literally a scavenger.
This might be my least favorite argument from every, sequel defender who argues for these movies. Ask how many aerospace engineers know how to fly a fucking airplane or a fucking spaceship for that matter. You could know the ins and outs of everything about a spaceship or an airplane. You wouldn't be able to fucking fly that thing. They're two completely different skills. And true. She scavenges Empire ships. She flies the Millennium Falcon. Fuck off. That is ridiculous. Oh, makes me so fucking mad. It's such a stupid argument.
The first time you see her in the trilogy, she's pulling apart pieces of an Imperial cruiser.
And then she flies the Millennium Falcon.
She knows how these things work.
I bypassed the compressor.
Not to mention, both Anakin and Luke
Yeah, she's better at fixing the Falcon than Han. That's perfect.
are guilty of knowing the ins and outs of spaceships despite being alone on a desert planet. At least Anakin was into pod racing. Luke had literally spent his entire life on a farm, never having touched a ship in his whole life.
What aboutism again? I kind of agree with him here. Like, he flew T-15s or whatever. It doesn't mean he can fly an X-Wing. But it doesn't make Rey any better. It just makes this worse. It's just whataboutism. That's all it is. I'm drinking Four Roses bourbon. Just for asking. Anakin was created by the Force. But it doesn't make it any better. He was still trained for like 13 years by the time Revenge of the Sith came around. And being good at having a connection to the Force clearly like makes your reaction time or whatever better, but he also spent all of his time flying pod racers.
Then the first thing he does is blow up a Death Star. Rey is also not skilled at all with a lightsaber. She knows how to wield one, but that's really as far as it goes. No, she does not get her arm cut off.
That's not as far as it goes, dude. I'm so tired of him saying that's as far as it goes. It's just like dismissing so many things. So many things. Whatever.
Off throughout any of the movies. But since when does not losing a limb make you a Mary Sue?
It doesn't. Nobody said that. Nobody has ever said Rey didn't get her arm cut off, therefore she's a Mary Sue. Nobody's ever said that.
I don't know. Maybe I like Rey so much in these two movies because Daisy really is kind of hot. By the way, if you're watching, please hit me up. All right, we're done here.
Okay. Good. Fucking, it's so loud. It's so loud. Yeah, that's the perfect way to put it. If you don't look any further, that's as far as it goes. Holy shit, it's so loud. Dude, it's insane. The fact, like, why the Praetorian Guards were made to defend Snoke? Defend Snoke? Yeah, I'll turn it down till this music's over. Because, Jesus, it's so loud. But yeah, the Praetorian Guards were invented to defend Snoke, and she fucks him. Like, why? How? What is the point? Why do they exist? Yeah, the choreography of that scene is actually fucking terrible. Again, shout out to Shadiversity. Watch his video on it because holy shit, it is bad. Thoughts on Mr. Plinkett? All I've seen of him is the prequel reviews. I haven't watched his sequel ones, but I heard they were disappointing.
Now, you're probably expecting me to try to convince you that this movie is actually really good. Well, it's not. This movie suffers from poor pacing, poor writing, inconsistency, poor direction, and so much more. But this movie gets way too much hate when it's still an enjoyable movie with redeemable qualities. And as a film, it's still way better than the majority of the prequel films.
Fuck no. Oh, no.
Okay, yeah, I deserve that.
How many times is he gonna make that same joke? That, like, people don't like his take? A lot? Is he gonna make it more times?
Out of all three movies, this movie suffered the most from the lack of an outline for the trilogy. The rushed pacing detracts from what is a deeper movie. Whenever something interesting happens...
I don't think that's true. I do think the movie had rushed pacing, but I do not believe there's a deeper film here. I think it's as good as it could have been, given the circumstances. It's fucking terrible. And I still believe that.
Where there's some kind of payoff, it happens fast, and immediately becomes an afterthought. I'll shed some light on this with some examples. Right from the beginning of the movie, we see Mustafar for the first time since Revenge of the Sith, but we don't even realize it. This is because the planet has healed itself, and has started becoming more habitable. We also see Kylo Ren reforging his mask.
Is that true? I don't know. It's not in the fucking movie, so how would I know?
Most people took it as a sign of Abrams just wanting to change what Rian Johnson did in The Last Jedi. In reality, it's much deeper than that. The original mask represented his desire to connect to his grandfather, Darth Vader. The new reforged mask now visually represents Kylo Ren's fractured character.
That's it? Does it represent that? Why? How? Is his character that fractured? He seems very fucking evil in this movie, at least, you know, at the start. And he seems pretty fucking evil at the end of The Last Jedi. Doesn't seem that fractured to me. But no, he's conflicted.
Instead of hiding it and letting the past die, he now wears the mask as a symbol of his own history. Later in the film, when Rey heals Kylo Ren, she not only heals his wound, but also the scar that she gave him during their duel on Starkiller Base.
Okay.
It's an important detail that symbolizes his return to the light side. More on that later. The movie also gives off the impression that...
Is it? Why? That wasn't she just, you know, healing him? But
there's a constant conflict between the trio, Rey, Finn, and Poe. But if you look closer, the conflict is only between Rey and Poe, and that makes the most sense. Finn and Poe met under extreme circumstances, and so did Finn and Rey. Up until the end of The Last Jedi, Poe and Rey had never met each other.
Yeah, which is kind of ridiculous if you think about it. Like, this was like the film trio. This was like the Luke, Han, Leia of this trilogy. And they didn't meet until the last film. What a fucking joke, dude. Or I mean, the end of the second film, I guess.
Even after that,
but Jesus
Rey stuck to their training with Leia, and Poe continued to lead the Resistance fighters. They don't get along well, and that's because Poe is brave, but reckless. He wants to be a leader, but Rey is busy following her own path.
I honestly want someone to point to a moment in time where Poe is being reckless. Because I genuinely don't believe there's a scene in this film that shows him genuinely being reckless. everybody talks about the initial battle in The Last Jedi, but he wasn't being reckless. If he hadn't destroyed the what's it called? Fuck, whatever, the big ship. If he hadn't destroyed the big ship, it would have they would have died. They all would have fucking died the second that they. Wait, am I crazy loud? Oh fuck. But they all would have died the second that fucking big ship. God, why can I not think of it? But goddamn, dude. I don't think. Yeah, ballsy. I would give that. I would give ballsy, but he's not reckless. He doesn't do things without a plan. Yeah, man, I don't know.
Becoming a Jedi. Over the course of the film, the two form a stronger bond after risking their lives to save the galaxy. A criticism that I hear way too often is that the First Order isn't menacing, but since when have enemy troopers ever been menacing in Star Wars?
Okay, there we go, let him finish. All of Episode 4, the first half of Episode 5, and none of the Return of the Jedi, I would say. They are solid all through Episode 4. They were letting them escape, right? They miss every shot. They literally say they were letting them get away. In 5, the Battle of Hoth, they were fucking on point. On Bespin, they were garbage. And then all of Return of the Jedi, they were garbage. So they have been menacing. But just the opening scene of A New Hope, they were menacing as fuck. That shit's scary.
It is extremely common. You're probably lying to yourself if you think the droids in the prequels were ever menacing or felt threatening.
Drop your weapon. I said drop them.
I mean, fair enough. I don't think anybody's ever said they were menacing. I don't think they were ever that meant to be menacing. You really don't see droids that much, like in pivotal moments in the movies. You really don't see them. They're really just there as like background CGI shit.
The stormtroopers in the original trilogy were literally notorious for missing every shot they.
He literally shows A New Hope where they say they were letting us escape. They literally say that. They literally say they were letting us escape. But you know, what the fuck ever, right?
Fired. The stormtroopers were also defeated by a bunch of teddy bears in Endor.
Yeah, Return of the Jedi. They were pretty shit.
This is up for debate, but in my honest opinion,
I genuinely think that's true. I think the droids were just there for comic relief. They never pose a threat, and they're never in a place where they're like, oh wow, they should be menacing. For the most part, they're just fucking there.
the First Order is the most menacing enemy troopers in Star Wars.
No. Wrong. Very false. They're garbage. They're just as bad as stormtroopers, if not worse. Like, they're good when they need to be, and they're bad when they need to be. That's how stormtroopers were.
Another ridiculous criticism I hear often is how Palpatine's return somehow
Palpatine returned.
negates Anakin fulfilling the prophecy of the Chosen One.
It absolutely does. That's like the whole fucking thing. God damn it.
That's not true.
No, fuck you. That's the whole thing. God damn you, you son of a bitch.
Anakin did restore balance to the Force, but of course it would never be permanent.
Why? That was the prophecy. God damn it. Oh, god damn it.
George Lucas defines balance as the removal of the toxicity of the dark side.
Yes. And that's what Anakin did. That's what Anakin did. It wasn't just weird as shit. It was fucking terrible.
Keep the Force in balance by making the light side pure and free of the dark side, but there will never be permanent peace throughout the rest of the galaxy.
That's not what that means. Nobody said that without the dark side of the Force, there's no. The whole Legends Yuzon Vong shit. You were talking about Legends earlier. Why aren't you talking about Legends now? They didn't bring. I guess they actually did bring Palpatine back, which is fucking stupid too. But you can have enemies that aren't fucking Palpatine. That can exist. It really can. But we gotta get those member berries, right? God fucking damn it.
That's impossible. That's like hoping the First World War would be the war to end all wars. The prophecy of the Chosen One was fulfilled, but a new conflict.
And the thing is, the Sith could return too. It's almost totally fine. The thing is you brought back Palpatine. Palpatine, the dude that died fucking twice. He got blown up fucking twice. Oh.
Will always arise. In Legends, the Force was quote-unquote threatened multiple times by Sith and lightsaber users alike. Palpatine came back in Legends too, and it was pretty bad. I easily prefer the timeline where Rey embodies all of the Jedi and ultimately defeats Palpatine once and for all.
By shooting his fucking lightning back at him because she used 2 lightsabers. Oh my god, dude, I fucking can't.
In an epic climax, over Han Solo killing Palpatine by casually shooting him in the back. No, I'm not taking that out of context. Look it up. Sequel.
That's fine. It's fine. It's terrible there. It's terrible here. Just saying it's bad somewhere else does not make it better here. If anything, it just shows you that it's bad.
Haters seem to get mad at everything. Imagine how mad everyone would be if Episode 9 ended with Han Solo shooting Palpatine in the back. There would be riots everywhere.
Yeah, because it's bad. Because it's bad. Yeah, look it up. Just look it up.
Do it! He said it! He said it!
Although
he's calling him out for fucking making references to old films. He's calling him out for it. But you know, just bringing Palpatine back is fine. It's fine. It's fine. Because it does stuff. It's better. It's good. I like when Rey shoot Palpatine with lightning. I like that. Do that more.
Though Poe and Finn were sidelined more in this movie, anyone who argues that Poe doesn't have a character arc in this movie isn't paying attention. Poe's arc is that he's overconfident in his abilities. Although he believes in the power of the Resistance, he believes that he can do everything on his own. He argues with Rey the most because she...
Does he ever say that? Does he ever say, I don't need anybody else, I can do this myself? I really don't think he ever says that.
She's the powerhouse to the Resistance, but she's too focused on her own training to help substantially. Poe also
and I agree with that. Why the fuck is she training? She's so powerful. She doesn't need shit. But
looks up to Leia and aspires to be as strong as a leader as she is. There's a great scene in the movie where he argues with Finn about helping Rey and doing what Leia would do.
And you do?
Yeah, this great scene. We'll just ignore all the other contrived fucking bullshit that goes on around this scene. But this line of dialogue's great, so just love it. You know, just like it. Just do it.
Yeah, I do. And so does Leia. Well, I'm not Leia. That's for damn sure.
When Leia passes away,
got him.
He gets himself together and admits that he can't do this alone, and he needs Finn in command with him.
I can't do this alone. I need you in command with me. But this
He literally said what he said.
droid has it. Thank you. I appreciate that. General.
This completes his arc from The Force Awakens. He spent the past 3 movies as a hot-headed resistance fighter who takes too many risks. But after the passing of Leia Organa, he's more aware of what made Leia such a great leader. The fight scene between Rey and Kylo Ren is also massively underrated in this film. One of the most common complaints I hear about the sequels is how none of the fights are as good as Anakin versus Obi-Wan. Battle of the Heroes was an...
Nobody complains that they're not as good as these fights. People complain that they're not good. And the thing is, like, I don't know. People complain that these look like dances, whatever, and then people complain Well, actually, I
Epic
think I
duel
know what
because
he's gonna say. One sec.
the fight had great choreography, the visuals were visually gorgeous, and the soundtrack was amazing.
The visuals were visually gorgeous.
In this fight scene, there's no music, and neither Rey nor Kylo are nearly as skilled as Anakin or Obi-Wan. So,
Okay, third shout out to Shadiversity. I'm pretty sure he has a video on that fight. But yeah, it's pretty fucking terrible. And also him saying that they're not as trained as Anakin or Obi-Wan. Kylo Ren was trained by Luke fucking Skywalker for like 10 years. And then under Snoke. Snoke, who is a clone of Palpatine. I don't know what Snoke is, actually. But, yeah, it is slow. And they are fucking... It's pretty bad. And the thing is, dude, okay, the thing is, the prequel fights were badass, but, like, you don't care about the characters that much, especially, like, I don't know, something like Dooku Anakin, where we know Anakin's not going to die. We know Obi-Wan's not going to die in the Maul fight. You don't have as much investment, whatever. And then the original trilogy fights, like, yeah, they're not super well choreographed. They're not bad, though. But we also really fucking care about these characters, like, it's Luke and Vader, like, fucking hell yeah. And then you have these fights where it's like Kylo and Rey, like, who gives a fuck? And they're also just terribly choreographed. Like, who fucking cares? It is so bad.
it's somehow bad? In the prequel,
Oh shit, I missed what you said.
in this fight scene, there's no music, and neither Rey nor Kylo are nearly as skilled as Anakin or Obi-Wan. So it's somehow bad?
That's not okay. I mean, I just went over my whole spiel. That's not what makes them bad. It's not the lack of music or the fact that they're not as trained. It's a plethora of things.
In the prequels, the purpose of an epic soundtrack was to entertain the viewer with spectacular action scenes, beautiful choreography, often when there are lots of jumps, explosions, and dramatic action. The fight in this scene is a critical moment for both characters. This is the fight that decides whether Ben will turn to the light side or stay on the dark side, so the absence of music emphasizes the tension. Similar to Luke in Return of the Jedi,
I guess.
Rey has only had one solid year of Jedi training. Although she's demonstrated some mastery of the Force,
I think we went over this, but I'm pretty sure Luke had 4 years, because I think there's 3 years between Empire and Return of the Jedi.
still has a long way to go to master her combat abilities. She's demonstrated her competency with her weaponry a few times, but when she's
Yeah, because she's a fucking Mary Sue. Because she can do anything. But we already went over how she's not one. Other than she's good at the Force, but that's about it. Fuck. God damn it.
pushed emotionally, she starts swinging wildly and without proper form or control. Also want to point out that
Yeah, so why doesn't Kylo fuck her up? Why? She swings wildly and crazily. Why does Kylo, someone who's been trained for 10 fucking years, not just fucking destroy her? Why?
Kylo's fight scenes in his movies prove that he can fight and move like a prequel Jedi. He's just never had an opponent who is
God, that's so bad, that fucking jump. Also, the moonwalk at the beginning of this movie is hilarious too.
capable of going at it at that speed. He never wanted to kill Rey, so he let her set the pace of every fight, and we got those slow fights with him and Rey.
Oh, that's why she won, was because Kylo let her. Kylo didn't want to win. That's
Imagine
why.
if Ben had another opponent to go up against other than Rey, and he had to go all out to defeat them. Even the comics portray Kylo Ren as
Just, I love that fucking clip.
other than Rey. And
Jesus
he had to go
Christ, he
all
just
out to
puts
defeat
his-
them. Even
It's
the
there for like 5 seconds, and oh god, dude, it has to have been there for like a while before the dude was like, yeah, I'll just fucking hit it, why not?
comics portray Kylo Ren as an exceptional, competent warrior. During the time of his training, it's said that Solo surpassed
Also, he lost his blaster in that scene. I don't know if you guys know that, but he had a blaster up until that point, and then he was like, oh, I have no weapon. I guess I'm gonna have to teleport.
his peers in every aspect of their training. He excelled at his training, to the point where his skills eclipse the combined powers of the other apprentices.
So why does he lose to Rey?
He's not strong enough to successfully rival Luke, who's a Jedi Master at this point, but he's definitely close to the level of a Jedi
He's not even fighting Luke here. This is a projection.
Knight in the prequels. But we'll get to more on Ben Solo later. In the meantime, I should probably address the elephant in the room.
Rey Skywalker.
Ugh, gross.
This is easily the most misunderstood scene in the entire franchise. At first, I'll admit, I didn't understand the point the scene was trying to make, and I sided with the hatred. But
The feet are coming
you
soon.
just have to look deeper.
I promise.
Before I go any further, I'm about to give a quick recap of Rey's story from her perspective. If you feel like you understand the story deeply enough, I'll put a time code in the screen you can skip to see the point that I'm trying to make. No, she's not a Skywalker, but let me put you in the shoes of
She called herself Rey Skywalker. Why is that? What?
Rey for a minute. You grew up in a desert with no family, no friends, no one to care for. You don't even know who your parents are or what the purpose of your life is. The next thing you know, you're thrust into a galactic war between good and evil, and you're to be trained by Luke Skywalker, who once single-handedly saved the galaxy. Although at first he was skeptical, he respects you for who you are and treats you like family. You're then trained by Leia, who's also a
Identity
Skywalker.
theft is not a joke,
Ever since
Jim.
the death
That's
of her
true.
husband and brother, she's treated you like the only family she has. You also find out that your grandfather
Yeah.
was once the most evil and most powerful dictator.
Okay, so I think he's explaining this from like a character perspective, but what I think the complaint most people have is from like a meta perspective of that, like, she doesn't deserve to be called a Skywalker, and like it's her because she's killed Palpatine. Now, you know, Anakin didn't do it. It was Rey Skywalker. Like, yeah, fuck that. Like, nobody wants that. And he's explaining it from like, she grew up without a family and this was the only family she's ever had. But it's like, nobody's arguing that. We're arguing that, like, why is this a decision they would make as writers?
Of the galaxy. However, Ben Solo comes to her aid during her confrontation with her grandfather, who's also a Skywalker. Because of his connection to his mother, he returns to the light side of the Force and uses the last of his energy to bring you back to life at the cost of his own. So that's the end of the Skywalker line.
He's not a Skywalker, he's a Solo, but whatever.
You found out who your family was, and he was this guy. You look back and reflect. You were lost for so long, not knowing what family even is, yet every living Skywalker treated you like family. Rey is an honorary Skywalker. It's more about her.
Why? Because she stole Anakin's fucking triumph? That pisses me off.
Her inheriting the legacy rather than being a part of the family line. Rey's not a Skywalker. She's beginning a new lineage of Skywalkers in honor and respect to the old one.
Dude, okay, so I got a fan theory. I'm just gonna fucking mess with your brain real quick here. So Palpatine says, if you kill me, you know, I'll assume your body and whatever. So my theory is that, well, their thing is that he killed himself with his Force lightning. Bullshit. That's fucking stupid. So my theory is that when Rey killed Palpatine, like he said, he took over her body, and then he kissed Kylo Ren. So right. Okay, hear me out. So Palpatine is pissed at Anakin for betraying him. Makes sense. So Palpatine took over Rey's body and kissed Anakin's grandson, which makes him gay. And then he took the Skywalker name, which he's going to use to perpetuate evil, tarnishing the Skywalker name forever. Bam. Exactly. Yeah. I know. I just blew your fucking minds, but what can you do?
That being said, this scene doesn't top the previous binary sunsets, not by a long shot, but this scene is looked at with so much scorn and disdain. It's okay
Yeah, because she... Fuck.
to not like scenes But if you still think the scene is objectively bad, you need to learn to let go of your hatred.
If you think this scene is bad, you're just a hater, man. You gotta let go, bro. You're still holding on. You're still holding on. You gotta let go, okay? You gotta let go.
No, you're still holding on. Let go.
Yeah, stop being a fucking hater, okay? If you didn't like Rey stealing the Skywalker name for no fucking reason, you're just a fucking hater, okay? And you need to die.
Alright, so I'm done praising the movie. But can I just say one thing? I absolutely despise Disney for what they did to my man Hux.
That was not this movie. The Last Jedi killed Hux. Not this one. Hux was a completely different character in The Force Awakens to The Last Jedi. That movie killed Hux. This movie did not.
Remember back in The Force Awakens when he was actually a cool and menacing character?
And we'll remember this
Yeah, remember when he wasn't in The Last Jedi?
as the last day of the Republic.
Well, this is him now.
I don't care if you win. I need Kylo Ren to lose.
What? Bro, you do realize that means you're in a lose-lose situation.
Okay, so this man, is capable of thinking logically. Why is this the only thing he's calling out? Who fucking knows? Because it's obvious, I guess. I don't fucking know.
If the Resistance wins, you lose. If Kylo Ren loses, you lose. If Kylo Ren wins, you lose. I genuinely have no idea what the writers were thinking.
The writer was thinking that Rian Johnson fucked up his character and he wanted him back. So he killed the character that Rian Johnson turned him into and replaced him with the same fucking character that he was in The Force Awakens. That's what he was thinking. And, that was the most efficient fucking way to do it, I guess.
Who wrote this movie? But
J.J.
this
Abrams
isn't the
did.
first time Star Wars has had a dumb character motivation. The best way to describe this movie...
Oh, you see, another Star Wars movie has had a bad character motivation, so that makes it okay here.
Movie is that it's a messy, terrible, pretty great, weird, disappointing, fun ride of a film.
No.
They fly now! They fly now! They fly now!
Alright, so I've held this character back for long enough. It's time I talk about the greatest character of the sequel trilogy, Rose.
This is a joke, right? I think that's gotta be a joke.
Nah, I'm just kidding.
Okay,
I'm not gonna give you a recap of Kylo Ren's complete
Oh, Jesus
story.
Christ. Oh, fuck. Dude, Kylo Ren is a terrible fucking character. He doesn't make any sense. He does whatever he wants. He has no consistent motivation whatsoever. He's light, he's dark, he's dark, he's dark, he's light, he's dark, he's light. Cool.
Give some pointers as to why he's such a great character. Kylo Ren first comes off as an unstable and unforgiving villain, but as you learn more about him, you realize that he's a really deep character.
No.
During Ben's upbringing and his training, Luke tried to hide Ben from the secrets of their family. Ben's parents also tried to hide it from him, and in the process, Ben...
Where is he getting this from? I didn't see this in the movie. When did they try to hide his past from him? I don't fucking remember that. What?
Felt isolated. It was during this period when Snoke took advantage of Ben's feelings and began manipulating him. Fast forward to when Luke approached...
That's so interesting that he shows a fucking shot of a comic book and not the goddamn movie. That's so cool.
Approached Ben in his sleep and began sensing darkness inside him. He claimed to have saw Snoke in his mind in a dark future, but in reality he also saw Palpatine's darkness. From his perspective, Ben felt betrayed. He's betrayed by Luke. He's betrayed by his Jedi friends. He's betrayed even by his own parents. After all...
Oh my god.
All said and done, the only person he has left is Snoke and the Knights of Ren. Ben falls to the dark side and worships Vader's goals. During the Age of the Empire, Vader and Palpatine built the Death Star as their way of domination and taking control of the galaxy.
Didn't take control of the galaxy with the Death Star. They were trying to retain control of the galaxy with the Death Star.
But they were sabotaged by the rebels. Vader redeemed himself to the light side, and their plan had failed. But Kylo saw Vader's ultimate goal and dedicated himself to building an even bigger battle station. A battle station built out of a planet. He believed
it's just a callback to the Death Star. It's not that deep. They just wanted another Death Star. That was it. I'm sorry.
it wouldn't fail. However, he's just as mentally flawed as his grandfather Vader was. Ben Solo still had good left in him.
The Death Star wasn't Darth Vader's plan.
When he killed his father, he believed that he had killed what was left of his former self, and that he was now irredeemable. But his mother was still his weakness. Deep inside, Ben Solo still loved his mother. He always felt negatively against his father, because he felt as though Han had abandoned him as a kid.
Where is he getting this? Where does he get this from? Because it's certainly not the fucking movie, I'll tell you that much.
But Han just wasn't able to stay in one place for too long, and he returned to his life of smuggling. When we see Kylo
Why? Why does he go back to smuggling? Tell me why.
Ren try to kill his mother, he can't. He's not strong enough. This was the first sign that we realized Ben Solo was still alive. But by this point, his character is becoming fractured. He's killed his father. He's defeated by a girl who never wielded a lightsaber.
Why? Why was he defeated by a girl who never wielded a lightsaber? Why? Nothing is explained. These things just happened.
Starkiller base is destroyed. He's bullied and tortured by Snoke.
So why does he stay with Snoke?
And he destroys his identity. By this point, Kylo Ren doesn't even know who he is anymore. That is until he discovers something.
Also, the fucking... God damn it, what's the big ship called? What's the... Supremacy is split in half. Who picked up the pieces and sent them to Kylo Ren so they could be stitched back together? I genuinely want to know. Oh, I know, I didn't do my reading. That's true. I should have read 50 books before I watched these fucking movies. No, I mean after watching the movies, because these books don't exist until after the movies come out. It's not like they made them with these histories known. They just say shit and then expect other writers to be like, oh, well, this is how it all fits together. Don't worry about it. There's no plot holes in this movie.
A dyad in the Force.
Waste.
Ben and Rey are connected. At first, he tries to help her discover who she is, so that they can stand against Snoke. By this point, he doesn't care about Luke, the First Order, the war. Rey cares for him, and she's the only person who is able to see Ben Solo under all of his hatred. But Rey doesn't want to join him, because his methods are wrong. He's still evil. He feels betrayed again by someone he thought he could trust. And this time, he has no one left. He repairs the mask as a symbol of his
I honestly want to know who brought him the fucking pieces from the Supremacy. I want to know. I want to see that story of the dude who was like, oh shit, Kylo Ren just broke his helmet, he might want this later. And then survived the fucking hyperspace kamikaze and was like, dude, I gotta grab those pieces. I'm gonna be a fucking hero when Kylo wants his mask back.
Fractured character, and he returns.
Hey, safe Jewel Gaming, I just wanted to say that I love you.
The Knights of Ren. Palpatine's returned, and Palpatine wants Ren to kill Rey. But Ren allows himself to become emotionally vulnerable again, and asks that Rey joins him in an attempt to overthrow Palpatine. But again, Rey rejects him, and he's betrayed emotionally. At this point, Kylo Ren is no longer fractured. He's completely broken.
What is the difference?
Duel on the ocean moon of Endor became an incredibly fateful duel. But before he is able to kill her, Kylo Ren hears his mother's voice as she passes away. Rey stabs him in the chest. He loses two of the only people he's ever cared about at the same time. He has nothing left. At this moment, Kylo Ren is dead, but when Rey heals him, she doesn't revive Kylo Ren. she revives Ben Solo. After confrontation with
Dude, it's not like maybe this movie's trying to be that deep, but it's not that deep, man. We don't see this. We really don't. Like, go back and watch this movie. None of this is in the fucking movie. It's all shit that he has made up to make the movie better.
with his father in his mind, he throws away his saber. There's nothing left of Kylo Ren. After they defeat Palpatine, Rey is unconscious. But what's important is that Rey is all that Ben has left in his life, because they are a dyad in the Force. He is
Oh, yeah, because that's just a thing. They are that because they are that.
able to use the Force heal ability that Rey learned from the sacred Jedi text. And what makes this moment even more powerful is that Ben Solo is doing what Vader could not. Anakin Skywalker lost the love of his life, and he was never able to undo what he did to Padme. But Ben Solo was able to bring Rey back to life.
I can't even, man. Anakin and Padme were married. They had a kid. They had twins together. This is not the same thing. Rey fucking killed him. Like 20, maybe. I actually don't know exactly. Maybe 20 screen minutes earlier. This is not the same fucking thing at all.
Skywalker is redeemed. He's no longer a fractured man, but a Skywalker who has fulfilled his destiny. Ben is finishing what his grandfather started, and so Ben...
What do you think? That's what he thinks that meant. That's disgusting. This video makes me sick. The Attack of the Clones is cringe. It's terrible. But Padme and Anakin had a real relationship. They were married. They were having children. Rey killed him. Not that long ago. She straight up fucking murdered him. Not that long ago. And yeah, no, it's the same thing.
Ben is the final Skywalker to die. The bloodline is finished. It's done. For a period of time, the fan base has been divisive, and the Force left unbalanced. And now I have restored balance to the Force. I have brought peace, honor, and security to the Star Wars fan base.
No, you didn't. At all. None of this made any sense. And you're just telling people that it's good. It's not like he's extending a peace offering. He said, hey, this is good. I like it or not, just like it.
Now, having said everything great that I found about these films, I should definitely acknowledge the primary flaw of the trilogy. The lack of a cohesive story.
I'm the spy.
It's clear that the directors didn't have an outline of the trilogy before setting out to make these movies.
I don't think that's the primary flaw. I think the primary flaw was trying to make as much money as possible and not giving a single shit about what came before. Because I think The Force Awakens fucks everything that came before just as much as The Last Jedi did. Maybe that's a hot take.
If they had, things such as Palpatine's presence in The Rise of Skywalker would have made sense. If they had hinted at Palpatine's presence in the earlier films,
it would have. I think Palpatine's presence would have always been terrible. I don't care this in Legends. It was probably terrible in Legends too.
Felt less forced. But instead, he was forcibly written to the final film, which gave the writers a hard time. That being said, I think that Palpatine was still a well-written character given the constraints the writers were given. They wrote
wait, maybe he's gonna explain
him
it.
in a way that made it seem like he was behind everything the whole time.
No, they didn't. They really didn't. They literally said, somehow Palpatine returned. That's nothing. That's literally nothing. They didn't act like he was there the whole time. They made Snoke into a fucking clone. Why? Why didn't he have armies of Snokes? Why didn't he make up 1 million of them? He could have done anything. There's so many things that Palpatine could have done if he was pulling the strings the whole fucking time. Also, there's an interview with Ian McDiarmid like a year and a half before the movie came out, where he's talking about how J.J. Abrams was like, hey, yeah, you want to be in the 9th film? Because we don't know what else to do.
It makes sense that Snoke is a failed Palpatine clone because he was unnaturally powerful and similar to Palpatine. He had been putting the voices inside Kylo.
He wasn't unnaturally powerful. He looked old as shit. It easily could have been someone who had studied the Force. For fucking 1,000 years. That could have been fine, but no, it was a fucking Palpatine clone.
Kylo Ren's head,
Who looks nothing like Palpatine.
which says a lot about Kylo Ren's character throughout the films.
I have been every voice you have ever heard inside your head.
Oh yeah, remember when Kylo Ren found out that he had never actually been talking to Darth Vader, the person that he was trying to finish where they started? He'd never actually been talking to him, and it affects his character about that whole much, about a whole fucking zero much. But yeah, no, it was fucking great.
The problem is that the previous films were clearly leading us in a different direction. Palpatine's plot works within the context of the movie, but not within the context of the trilogy. That being said, I think The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi work perfect together. Abrams left The Force Awakens open with questions the future directors could answer.
Perfect together. Perfect? Fuck me, dude. I couldn't imagine just feeling this way about The Last Jedi or The Force Awakens. Goddamn.
Rian Johnson took those questions, then answered them while respecting the first film. But he didn't leave the last film open for any questions. Whether it was Abrams or Colin Trevorrow directing the third film, it would have been a disaster because Johnson closed off the film with nothing left for the third film to work with. I mean, literally, there's what, like 5-10 Resistance fighters left?
Oh, apparently there's a whole fucking base's worth. But yeah, it was terrible. The ending of The Last Jedi. It really did. It left zero room for anything to happen. What is there?
People also argued that the fight scenes were not on the same level as the prequel fight scenes.
Yeah, that's true. They're really bad.
And you're right. The prequels took place in a time period where the Jedi were in their prime.
Dude, I can't stand this argument. I can't. Kylo Ren trained he was in training for like 10 fucking years. 10 years. And he's like amazingly powerful in the Force. Why the fuck does he? I don't get it.
Although the fights look like an over-choreographed dance, I believe Duel of Fates is the close example of what Star Wars fights should look like. The Clone Wars fight scenes are the best examples of what fight scenes of Jedi in their prime should look like. They weren't over-choreographed.
I agree with this take for the most part. The fight scenes in Clone Wars are actually really good, as far as I know. But there's a lot of stupid shit. Even in Duel of Fates, there's a lot of stupid shit, but it doesn't come near. It doesn't come anywhere near the level of like sequel shit, like disappearing weapons and surviving for no fucking reason. And
they showcase clear skill and fluidity. However, you can't hate on the sequels for not having this level of choreography.
Yes, I can.
You bash the sequel fights because they treat lightsabers like baseball bats instead of the fluid movements you're used to.
Because Kylo Ren should be fluid. He should be a skilled sword fighter. He shouldn't be losing to someone who's never wielded a lightsaber.
But the original trilogy literally did the same thing.
Well, what aboutism again? First off. Second off. Most people that I know say the same shit. Most people say that the original trilogy had like not great choreography, and I agree with it for the most part. One, I mean, whatever, Vader was holding back, but we care about the characters. That's the big difference. If you have cool choreography and characters we don't care about, at least we get to see cool choreography. But if you have terrible choreography and characters we don't care about, we're supposed to give a shit. Why do we care? But they are sword, not sword-like weapons. I've heard sword-like weapons before. Is that that's an EFAP thing, I think?
Luke literally wailed on every bad guy, and you guys love that stuff.
The choreography is bad in Return of the Jedi. I agree. It does not make the sequel trilogy any better.
Within the context of the time period, the fight scenes work really well. These movies gave a better feeling of weight to the sabers. Yes, they lack the style of the Jedi before them, but that's because they're literally dead. Luke trained Ben, but also remember that Luke didn't really have a fighting style either. Regardless,
Dude, he had how many years before Kylo Ren was born to... Yeah, oh, fucking hell, dude. He had plenty of time to train with lightsaber before he started training Ben.
you were never on the edge of your seat during a fight scene because you were never connected with the characters due to the poor writing. The sequels featured a generation.
Is that true? Were you never connected with the characters? Because he said that's true, so you must feel that way too.
That never studied the furious dueling styles of the Jedi. So while there is some form in their movements, it's not at the same depth as the Jedi in the prequels. Instead, the sequels focus on the intensity of the fights and giving the audience a feeling of real danger. Some of the best fight sequences of the trilogy featured no music over the action and really focused on putting the audience in the seats of the characters.
That is where we got... Actually, I don't know if it is, but it's where we got to look at Finn's fucking ability to scream. That's true. Is he just showing us the fight scenes? Is he making a point? Because we don't care. Also, what a fucking hilarious frame to pause on. But how many of you guys actually cared about the outcomes of these fights? Because I don't know, man. I know I didn't.
In other words, the prequel trilogy focused on flash and CGI over good action, while the sequel trilogy focused on emotion and intensity. But as a Star Wars fan, I'm here to say that it's okay to love both. They both have their...
It is okay to love both. It's okay to love whatever you want. But what I'm saying is that we have neither. We have neither in these movies. You get neither. Oh my god.
own pros and cons. I just wanted to share that they're both great.
Rebel scum.
It's clear that the sequel trilogy had a lot of potential, and it needed to spend more time fleshing out some of its characters and worlds. This would be the perfect opportunity for a TV show similar to the Clone Wars to expand the lore. There's a ton of content.
No, these are things that needed to be in the movies. These are not things that need to be helped out.
That can be expanded on. I would love to see characters like Captain Phasma fleshed out more, and stories such as Poe and the Resistance
I would have loved to see Phasma fleshed out more too.
before The Force Awakens, the political sides of the war, an expanded story on Luke's downfall.
No, politics is boring. You already said that about the Phantom Menace. You said that the fucking political scenes in the Phantom Menace were boring, so why do you want them here?
Luke and Lando searching for the Sith Wayfinders, Poe and Zorii as spice runners, a story expanding on the Knights of Ren, Palpatine working behind the scenes of the first two films. I could go on. This level of content would make the movies far more interesting than they are now. Characters in the prequels such as General Grievous and Count Dooku weren't fleshed out.
I like the politics too. That's the problem, man. People are like, "Oh no, we didn't need politics in this one because the politics were boring." But that's the world building. That's where all the stakes come from. We have no fucking idea what's going on in this universe
At all. And
we have no reason to pull for the Resistance or fucking hate the Empire or the First Order. We know nothing about this universe.
just sort of appeared in the movie. and now they're universally loved characters. So that's all I have to say about the sequel trilogy. This was much longer than I hoped it would be, but I tried. The most important thing to take away from this video,
You didn't try hard enough.
is that these movies are flawed, but they're equally unique from the other two trilogies. Every Star Wars movie is flawed.
Being unique does not make you good. It doesn't. It really doesn't.
But we've all come to accept those flaws and love these movies. Star Wars is a massive but immersively flawed universe. Without flaws, there is no Star Wars.
So, wait, did he? Hold on.
Without flaws, there is no Star Wars.
So is he saying that you can't have a Star Wars movie unless it's bad? Is that really this dude's take? Oh my god. I fucking can't, man. I can't. Well, I hope you guys fucking enjoyed watching that video. I have one more, but please don't leave because I gotta pee really bad. And I need ice. So I'll be right back. Holy shit, my toilet takes so long to stop fucking flushing. But yeah, we're doing Loki now. Oh wait, don't look at my stuff. Hold on. Oh yeah, wait, fuck. Am I talking? Oh yeah, I am talking. Yeah, Discord is in the description. Everybody please come join, cause it's a lot of fucking fun. Do more videos? I'm trying. Dude, it's kinda hard. It's a lot harder than I thought it was. Fuck. It's scary too. I got too much anxiety. Yeah, we're talking Loki, Cosmonaut Variety Hour. Yeah, our Discord does have awesome mods. My opinion on Loki is that it's pretty fucking bad. But we'll see. I actually have not watched this video yet, so I really hope it's one I can respond to, but we'll see. But yeah, I'll just get, out of the way real quick. Loki was a mess. It kind of fucked with Tom Hiddleston's character. The TVA is really stupid. I mean, it removes all the stakes from every previous MCU fucking anything. It's pretty bad. Kang's whole thing is bad. I don't know, man. I don't know. I can't think of anything that I really liked about it. But, I guess we'll just have to see how this video is. Whoops.
This video is sponsored by Audible.
Oh, cool.
Disney's Marvel's Loki is the third entry in the new catalog of MCU TV shows on Disney+. And while
Those are true things that he said.
all the shows haven't been bad so far, for some people they haven't really proven their worth yet. But honestly, Loki is the first.
I don't think it's just that they haven't proven their worth. I think WandaVision was fucking dreadful. I mean, people who've seen my channel know that. But WandaVision was fucking dreadful. I never watched Falcon, but I've heard it's pretty bad too. So I can't comment on it really, but holy shit.
First of the new shows to actually be really, really good.
Just no. It's... Dude, this is what I hate. This is what I hate. You just say, "Oh, this show is really, really good," and we're gonna talk about why, and we'll find out what he thinks. But like, just coming right out the gate with it, you're not gonna prove to us that it's good. It's just you gotta listen to him.
And I liked WandaVision just fine, but
WandaVision was really bad.
it had the usual Marvel flaws that I've come to expect. Cool premise, great performances from the main characters, and irritating side characters with a really lame B plot that drags the story.
Hold on one second.
Marvel flaws
so what
that
did he
I've
say?
come to expect. Cool premise, great performances from the main characters, and irritating side characters with a really lame B plot that drags the story down.
I agree with that. The premise of WandaVision was cool. The actors did well. And the B plot was fucking awful. So, yeah, solid.
And I'm not even going to repeat how much I didn't like the Falcon show. But I still saw the Loki trailer, and I recognized that it looked unique and fun. And thank God I was right for once, because this show slapped.
It was unique and fun.
But
It slaps. I guess it's good then. Because it's different. It does things, man. It does stuff. It really does do some stuff.
before I break it all down, we have a quick word from today's sponsor. This video is
Oh, okay. Holy shit. So long fucking ad. My god. Oh my god. Okay.
for sponsoring this video. So to start things off, let me just explain how I enjoyed this series. I didn't watch Loki week to week. In fact, by the time I finished my Black
I didn't either. I watched it all in one sitting.
Widow review last week, I hadn't seen a single episode yet. I waited until 5 of the episodes were out, I avoided spoilers for a few weeks, and then I just watched it all at once. And I did the same thing for Falcon, and I gotta say that I think it definitely helps with these Marvel shows. A lot of people
I don't think that's a point for being good. You know? If you're making a show that comes out weekly, I don't think that's a Is he counting that as a point for being
complain
good?
about certain episodes being weaker than others, but for me, this was just like an extra long Marvel movie, so it kind of worked for me. I don't really
Oh, it worked for him, so yeah, whatever. I guess that's
remember any individual episodes because it's all one episode to me. And that really contributed to me
it's all just one episode to him, so it doesn't really matter that the individual episodes were bad. I mean, come on.
liking this show a lot. I really, really enjoyed it, more than I expected to. Because as you all know, I love when Marvel does something new, which is why Black Widow and Falcon don't really do it for me.
Is that really all it takes, man? Is that all it takes to make a good, like, to make good content, to make good shows? Just do something different? What if Loki was in a diaper and shit his pants every single episode? Is that just good because it's different? It's just good because it's unique. It's different. That's what I need. It's refreshing.
But this
And it's not even that new. Like, you have all the same Marvel shit. It's just there's a multiverse now, which we already knew was coming because we know the title of the Doctor Strange movie.
This is my kind of shit. This is the most creative story that they've attempted in a while, and I'm glad that these shows give them room to experiment.
It's creative, so that means it's good. It's also fucking bad. Like, it ruins all the stakes of every single MCU, anything that came before it. But it's creative, so it's good. It makes the MCU exciting again.
But let's talk about the show itself. Without spoiling too much, this series follows Loki. Not the dead Loki, but the other Loki that hops out of the Avengers' custody during Endgame. He gets arrested by Time Police for breaking the time.
Which is kind of fucking insane when you think about it, that he just kind of lets this happen. And I was kind of confused. I've been back and forth. Was he trying to get captured? Because he talks to what's her fucking name? Sylvie. He talks to Sylvie like he's meeting her for the first time, but then he tells Owen Wilson that he's like been in cahoots with her the whole time and he was trying to get captured. So I am so fucking lost, dude.
Timeline, and Owen Wilson recruits him to help fix the timeline. As such, this series features a lot of world building, which is actually surprisingly not that common in the MCU.
And they do it so poorly. Literally, all the world building is, let's sit down and talk about world building. Let me explain everything to you, the audience, for a while, and then we'll start going.
Yes, a lot of the drooling fanboy.
Right, I didn't think he was in cahoots the whole time. So why does Loki fucking go like a little bitch? This is not the Loki from the original Avengers at all. It's not him, and I get that he undergoes change, but like, even from the start, it's not fucking him.
Be mad that the Infinity Stones are paperweights in this story.
Yeah, that's really annoying. These stones that we've had built up for years, that Steve Rogers went to other universes to return, they're worthless. They're nothing. It doesn't matter. Get over it.
But to me, it shows that the MCU is officially putting that storyline on the shelf, and they ain't gonna fuck with it anymore. That stuff's done with. It's over. Forget about it.
That's exactly what I'm saying. They don't give a shit about what came before. They literally, it's exactly what he said, but he's saying that like it's a good thing. Like they're just like, oh, fucking forget about it. Don't worry about it. This shit doesn't matter. All that investment you had, it doesn't fucking matter. Just forget about it. Move on. It's a joke, man.
I very much enjoy the way that this show paves the way for new Marvel stories. My prevailing
by actually giving characters free will. Man, I wish all the other movies had that.
theory is that alternate realities are going to be the new, like, main thing in the MCU, with at least 3 of the upcoming movies dealing with reality-altering shenanigans in some way. And while it was...
It's such a mess. There is zero possibility they're able to handle this correctly. Like, oh, it would take some insanely skilled writers to be able to handle shit like this.
Skeptical at first, I currently think that this is probably an acceptable follow-up to the Thanos storyline. But everybody always talks about how...
Dude, we had 10 years of build-up for this Thanos storyline. And in one TV show, they go, oh, and all that shit, yeah, it didn't actually fucking matter. This is the real shit. Fucking get ready to consume more, you stupid idiot. You thought that was the end? Get fucked.
How each MCU thing lines up with the rest of the franchise. How does this show function on its own? Well, like the previous Marvel shows, this show serves as a character study for a character that we're familiar with, but we haven't gotten this much time with.
It's not the character we're familiar with. It's a completely different Loki. From the very beginning, I don't care that he watched his life. He's a different character from the start. Before he sees that, he's a different character. Oh my god. They make him into a little bitch. Oh, it makes me so mad.
And I've said this before, but I do appreciate this approach with these shows. I recently watched a few Marvel movies the other day, and Loki is kind of a butt monkey in all of them.
Fuck you.
He's usually just the punchline of a joke.
He was the main antagonist in 2 of the major... He was the main antagonist in the Avengers movie. What do you mean? He was a punchline... Yeah, he's a...
And when he's not being beaten up by somebody, he's usually doing something evil or betraying someone. But as usual with these MCU...
Because he's a villain! What else would he be doing?
shows, it made me like the character.
And okay, and on top of that, he didn't have a choice, right? Kang was the one fucking controlling all of this, so it's really not Loki's fault at all. It's not even the writer's fault. It was Kang's fault the whole time.
A lot. In this show, Loki has to basically speedrun his character development because this Loki was literally just ripping a dude's eyeball out a few hours ago.
Exactly. So why is he letting himself so easily be captured by the TVA? Why is he not fucking pissed about going through all the shit? Well, why is he going to court? Why does a little girl... Okay, so... if you guys have seen Loki, do you guys remember Sylvie's backstory when she gets taken to TVA and she steps on the girl's foot and is like, oh, I'm fucking out of here. I stole your TemPad, whatever. Why can she do that? But Loki doesn't even try to use his magic. He doesn't even try to use his magic until he's in court. And what does the court do? They know everything he's done. Everything he's said. What's his case? You don't get a case here. It doesn't make any fucking sense. Nothing makes any fucking sense. Loki is a little bitch in this show, and
he is not the nice guy who sacrifices himself for his brother. And normally I'd say it's not a good idea to go backwards and redevelop a character that already got character development, but somehow it works here. Because this Loki actually has more character development in this show than he gets in any of the movies.
Because he's the main character of this show. Why would he not? He is in literally like every scene. Why would he not get more?
For instance, in Ragnarok, Loki just puts his dad in a nursing home and then he takes over Asgard and then he lives...
He calls it Ragnarok. What's the actual title of that movie? It's Thor Ragnarok. Why would he be... Oh, it's a kangaroo court. Holy shit.
He's on a slave planet with billionaires until he gets bullied into helping Thor, and even then, he still betrays him and comes back at the last second to help him. This is
because that's who Loki is. He uses his magic to fucking deceive people, which he doesn't do in Loki. And that's what pisses me off so much. They fucking eradicated his character to make a new one.
There's honestly not a lot of growth or character development, but we are supposed to see him as, you know, a good guy.
Of course he didn't get much character development. The movie's called Thor Ragnarok. It's about Thor. It's not about Loki.
And of course, the greatest way to turn a character good is to kill him. On the other side of things, we have this Loki, who has an entire series runtime to learn to be a better person. And it's much deeper than, oh, you shouldn't betray people because that's not nice, Loki. In this show, he has to learn a little more. He has to learn how to love himself and understand what he can offer to.
Guys, we learned from the last video. What are the thematic messages in Loki? What is the show trying to tell us? It doesn't matter if anything makes sense or that the TVA is full of babbling fucking buffoons. What is the show trying to tell us?
To people other than betrayal and mischief. And him learning how to love himself manifests in a strange but appropriate way. And it works really well because we've already seen Loki learn how to appreciate other people. Now we get to see another arc while still following him on this journey where he learns more about himself. I went from being kind of whatever about Loki to really loving him in this show, and that's also very much attributed to Hiddleston's performance.
Yeah, Hiddleston's great. Always has been. I don't get how his performance here is any different from any other of the movies he's been in, but it's great here.
Always given Loki 100%, and you can tell he's passionate about the character, and he has a lot of moments in this show where he just knocks it out of the park. There are other characters who are good, but one of them is going to be in the spoiler section, and the other one is Owen Wilson. And a lot of this show is just Owen Wilson and Loki talking in an office about world building and about why Loki is a piece of shit.
I honestly don't know how I feel about Owen Wilson's character. I would honestly like arguments for both sides. Because I felt very, very indifferent towards him in this show. Like, he's just there. Like, most of the time, it just feels like a plot device. He doesn't really feel that much like his own character. Yeah, I think that's true, too. They're like kind of scared to have like a bad guy. Well, they had Wanda though. Wanda was fucking horrible, but I guess they didn't acknowledge it, so I don't know if that counts. But my god, dude. They really made her a villain.
Big metaphor guy. I love it. Makes you sound super smart.
I am smart.
I know.
Okay.
And that's like, oh, that's another thing, man. Loki's charisma, his like intelligence is gone in this show. Like, I don't know. He used to be cool and quippy and like, maybe he is in this show, but it just feels so fucking dumbed down. Maybe I'm being overcritical, but
and these
holy
kind
shit.
of scenes are just my favorite. I've seen a lot of people say that this show is boring, and I'd say, yeah, you're right, but I like it anyway. Yes, I'm about to call myself out for being a fraud because I always complain about pacing, but I really like slow, boring things sometimes. At least when the boring stuff is about characters that I care about. And this
so I would like it too if they were characters that I cared about. Loki I do care about, but it's not Loki, so it's hard to get into. And also, 90% of what they talk about is just them trying to poorly explain what's going on. Like, they do such a piss poor job of explaining what's actually happening, and then they contradict themselves over and over again. Like, whatever. I like character studies. I don't know, but this isn't my jam, I
The
guess.
show does have some action, but a majority is centered around characters sitting around and talking about shit. The finale of this show is mostly
I think that's a really good way to put it. That Loki's a passenger in his own show. I 100% agree. He doesn't move the story forward like at all. It's all shit just like happening around him. And yeah, I don't know, man. I struggle with that, especially with Loki, dude. I don't know.
people talking, and I love it. This is my shit. This show has a lot of spectacle. It has crazy, big, dumb Marvel monsters and space aliens.
Yeah, like actually dumb Marvel shit. That's true.
It has a faux one-take action scene that was kind of cool, but it also slows down and explores the characters.
I would actually agree. I think the pacing in Loki is fine. I think they split action and slow plot, whatever you want to fucking say. I think they split it fine. It's just all the details are so fucked up. And the fact that it just ruins everything that came before it. It's hard. It's hard to like that.
Owen Wilson, for all intents and purposes, is just a normal guy. But we get so much time to see how he feels, and we get time to learn about him. And at that point, he grows past the label of the cute MCU side character, and he turns into a character that I want to see more of. However, this show isn't perfect, but to get into what I wasn't a huge fan of, I do have to get into spoilers. So here.
I genuinely want to know what you mean by not Tom's Loki. Because it's the same Loki from the Avengers movie onward. I get that he changes during this show, but he's not the Avengers Loki from the beginning of this show. But he doesn't act the same way.
Here's your warning. I'm not gonna wait any longer.
Yeah, I have no idea like what he's gonna talk about in this video, but Kang's whole shit just makes so little sense. He was a science man who his version specifically found some monster that devours space and time, and he was able to tame it, I guess, and use it for himself. And instead of trying to, just keep Kangs from happening, he keeps just literally fucking everything from happening. I feel like, what a waste of time, dude. Whatever.
Let's go. Alright, so anyway, this show has a romance subplot with Loki and his alternate self, Sylvie. If you haven't seen the show, that may be a little weird to you. And there are a lot of 16-year-olds who are
I didn't think this was that weird. Maybe it is, but it kind of seems in character for someone who's like pretty obsessed with themselves to fall in love with a version of themselves. To me, that kind of made sense. Maybe I'm wrong though.
mad about this for various reasons. Some people are mad that Loki isn't gender fluid. Some people claim he can't be that queer if he kissed a woman, which is ridiculous. Or they think that he should have gotten with Owen Wilson. Or they're mad because Loki is committing self-cest by getting with himself.
Where did all this stuff come from? Are people actually upset that Loki's straight? Incest? It might be. I don't know. But I died. What the fuck, dude? This just came out of nowhere. Well, I never thought Loki was queer. But I mean, I never thought he wasn't queer either. I have no idea. Well, this is blindsiding because I have no idea what this means. Yeah, Loki's not gay in this show. He's not gender fluid either. I don't know if that means it's bad. but I don't think that makes it good either. I have no idea.
And let me just say, I think we need to relax a little bit. I personally don't think the romantic sub.
I mean, that's true. If you're freaking out because he's not gay, then yeah, just fucking kind of chill, maybe.
Plot was handled the best, but it's not for any of those insane reasons. For one, yes, it would be cool if Loki was gender fluid like in the comics. It would be cool if he had a boyfriend. But this...
I don't think it matters either way. I don't think it makes a difference to the quality of the show, but I don't... Maybe I'm just being too straight. I don't know.
This is a company that isn't quite sure how many times they've introduced their first gay character in a movie. I would be surprised if Kevin Feige even knew what the term gender fluid meant. If we are not being...
I mean, that's true. It's always been a masturbatory thing to be like, oh, we have our first gay character. Like, okay. That's awesome. But that doesn't mean anything. I don't know. Maybe I'm
promised anything like this specifically. I think we need to chill the fuck out. Secondly, self-cest isn't real, because hooking up with your alternate self isn't possible, and it never will be. So we as a society literally do not have a moral foundation for it.
But it's still something to think about, right? Like, yeah, it could never happen in the real world, but it's still something to consider when watching this show. Like, it's something that happens in the show. He does know this isn't real, right?
We will never decide if hooking up with your alternate counterpart is immoral or not, because...
Well, no. We can decide now. There's no reason we can't decide that. Just because it can't happen, it just... I mean... What?
Because it literally will never happen. And if you disagree with me, you can log off...
Right, we probably won't write any laws about it, but... It's still something to discuss. It's something to talk about. That's so weird. What a weird thing to say.
...of the internet for a few weeks. I'm sorry, I've been arguing with a lot of people on the internet lately, so I needed to get that off my chest. But anyway, despite all this,
fair enough. Arguing with people on the internet sucks. Yeah, I think self-cest is pretty close to masturbation, as long as you don't have children. Who fucking knows what could, who knows what's gonna go wrong.
I too was not fully sold on the Loki.
Yeah, went to a minefield blindfold. That's no lie. I was not ready for all this. I wasn't ready for all the queer, non-binary, self-cessed stuff. I really should have prepared.
Loki Sylvie romance, because I felt like it was just kind of rushed. I get that they did as much as they could to get these two.
I don't think it was rushed in the time that they had. I mean, they kind of did what they could. I don't know.
Characters together in this limited time, but as they talked more and I realized that they were going to...
I mean, like every scene they were kind of flirting with each other, even from the very beginning. Like it was like competitive flirting, but then after that they were flirting with each other. It didn't feel rushed to me at all.
Be in a romantic relationship, I was like, oh, okay, well, I think we could have done it better. But I will say that by the end of the story...
I mean, everything can be done better. Explain how.
I'm glad that it doesn't work out for them because it does make the romance a lot stronger. There's nothing better for a romantic subplot than tragedy. So in that scene where she betrays him, I was
sure.
Actually really into it. And I will say that conceptually, I do like the idea of Loki falling in love with another version of himself.
I do too. Honestly, I think that's fine. I just wish that Loki was Loki. Like, I don't know. I feel like we had to fucking rip his character apart just to get him here. But I don't... Loki falling in love with himself, that's not crazy to me.
Because not only does it show how much of a narcissist he is, it shows that...
Oh, I thought the fighting was terrible. The choreography was... I'm not an expert on this stuff, but I agree, it did feel really fake. And it was a lot of that Marvel, especially with Sylvie. It was a lot of that Marvel, like when Black Widow takes on 6 dudes that are twice her size. It's like, how are you doing this?
That he's letting go of his selfishness by learning to put someone else before himself. And it is really, truly heartbreaking to see him in the finale begging for her to trust him when we know that this is the only time we've ever seen Loki tell the truth. I think that's a wonderful...
The only time we've ever seen him tell the truth. Is that true? Someone someone better versed in the MCU. Tell me if that's true.
Wonderful way to put a little bow on a Loki storyline. The romantic subplot does end up fixing itself by the end of this season, but I do think that it would...
Yeah, dude, that's actually a really good point. He's not a narcissist. He becomes not a narcissist in this show, and then falls in love with a version of himself. God damn, that's a really good point, actually. Fuck, this show's so bad.
If they talked about it less.
What? He said... Wait, go back.
On a Loki storyline. The romantic subplot does end up fixing itself by the end of this season, but I do think that it would have been better if they talked about it less.
They talked about it less. Didn't he say that it was rushed? Didn't he say it was bad because they did it all too fast? But now he's saying they should have done it faster? I'm so confused. So they should have spent more time developing this romantic subplot, but less time talking about the romance.
From the second these characters meet...
That maybe he meant show it. I don't know if he'll say anything about
each other.
But
They immediately start flirting. They start talking about love. They start talking about people they dated, and then...
But that's what this whole show does. They don't show much of anything. They just, like, the first episode has a whole animation about everything that's going on. They just tell you what's happening.
And the second they get back, everybody that knows them talks about how much they're in love with each other. It's just constantly thrown in our face. And I think that romances need to be built up organically. A lot of work can be done in a romantic subplot without needing words. And I think this is just a case where
I agree with that. Maybe that is what he's saying then. That they should have shown it more instead of just saying it. But I mean, the whole show, he said he likes that. He said he likes when characters sit down and talk to each other. First episode, I don't agree. I think first episode was pretty bad. They straight up wreck the MCU from the first episode.
I would have liked to see more subtlety in the earlier parts of the story. But as a whole...
Yeah, I think asking for subtlety is fine. But he said he liked when characters sit down and talk to each other about what's going on.
The romantic subplot isn't the worst, but I do think it stumbles a little bit in the beginning. But another thing I think is a little awkward are the other characters. The other TVA characters aren't nearly as compelling as our core cast. The Lokis are good, Owen Wilson is good, but the Cloverfield Paradox lady and the Lovecraft Country lady didn't really hook.
Hold on, what does he say here?
Another thing I think is a little awkward are the other characters. The other TVA characters aren't nearly as compelling as our core cast. The Lokis are good, Owen Wilson is good, but the Cloverfield Paradox lady and the Lovecraft Country lady didn't really hook me. I think it is hard to give everyone...
I think that's fair. I think, honestly, I don't think Owen Wilson was good either. I'm struggling to think of why these characters specifically were bad, other than that, like, the TVA itself doesn't make any sense. So, of course, these characters don't make sense. But, like, within that, I don't have any reason to, like, dislike these characters.
treatment as far as character development goes when we spend such a
Other than I never understood what her motivation was after, realizing that the timekeepers were fake or whatever.
long time on the main cast. But I feel like as one of the primary antagonists, I didn't really connect with the Cloverfield lady that much. We don't learn very much about her beyond her blind obedience to her masters. And these characters just...
She doesn't even know who her master is. As far as we know, she was trying to please the timekeepers. Yeah, Owen Wilson's profile. I think all the actors did a great job. Owen Wilson did a great job. Tom Hiddleston did a great job. The Lady Loki did a great job too. I don't have any problem with the actors in this show. And I think that's true for pretty much all the MCU. I can't think of any acting job I thought was terrible. There's no one like Rey. I don't know.
Don't have the energy that the rest of the characters have. I felt myself losing interest a bit whenever they took the focus away from the Lokis, and it does happen often enough to kind of muddle the pacing of the show. Like I said, I love slow and boring stuff, but only when it involves characters that I think deserve the slow, boring scenes. However, a lot of these criticisms have a little asterisk above them because this show is actually getting a second season, and that's a first for these MCU shows.
Okay, but season 1 is still bad. I don't know what else to say. I don't know. It feels like he's put his premise out there that Loki is good and it makes the MCU great. And he's just running with it. He's just assuming that we believe that's true without actually fucking explaining why it's true.
And I gotta say that I'm pretty hyped for that because this is the first MCU show that I actually want to see more of. WandaVision was cute, but that story is over, and it's time for Wanda to go do other stuff and be in other movies. But
God, I really hope WandaVision's over.
This show was a lot of fun, and it does offer room for even more creative storylines. Oh, and on the subject of later seasons,
it offers room for more creative storylines because now literally anything is possible. Before we were contained, we were fixed to Kang's storyline, but now we have literally everything to work with, which I thought we had before, but apparently now we have now we have that.
Seasons, I just want to say that I love Jonathan Majors as Immortus, or soon to be Kang the Conqueror.
Sure, he is a great actor. As
the big bad of this series, he makes a huge statement in just one episode.
It's not any more creative than WandaVision. It's literally the same. It's all just, get hyped for what's coming next. It's all it is, man. It's all just, it's trailers for the next shit. That's all Disney makes anymore.
Performance is fantastic. I especially love that one moment where he realizes that he's officially past the point where he knows what's going to happen in the future. This is the kind of moment that I think this show does really well. It doesn't cut away, it lets you sit and watch a character experience something.
It's so funny he says that, because Cosmo is the last Jedi defender. Just throwing that out there. And you know who we didn't get to experience, the loss of a friend, is Luke fucking Skywalker. So it's really interesting that he, thinks this is a good thing.
The idea that this guy is going to get to play other versions of himself is filling me with a lot of excitement. Because I really hate when MCU villains are played by great actors, but are underused and underwhelming. Majors is in just a single episode.
Who else falls into that category? I would say Claw, maybe. Other than that, though, I can't think of anybody. Maybe Ralph Nader. But other than that, I don't fucking know.
He spends it talking, and then he dies, but he already has me sold. A lot of people are excited to see him as the new big bad in the MCU, and while I like to keep my expectations in check...
Yeah, Odin, for sure, but he's not I wouldn't say he's a villain. Was he talking specifically about? I think he just said specifically villains.
He dies. This is in just a single great actors, but are underused. Because I really hate when MCU villains are played by great actors.
I think he's talking about villains specifically.
And underwhelming. Majors is in just a single episode. He spends it talking, and then he dies. But he already has me sold. A lot of people are excited to see him as the new big bad in the MCU, and while I like to keep my expectations in check, I'm not going to go ahead and jump to conclusions and say that that's what we're going to get, because it may not be. But if that does happen, I am kind of excited to see how it goes. I think it would be very interesting to see.
Thing is that Kang doesn't make any sense, like, from the start, right? Like, he was a scientist who discovered multiverse and can travel, and I guess he made the sticks that people use to send to the void of time, and now he's, even though he lives outside of time, he's gotten too old to maintain the timelines that happen at all of time. None of this show makes any sense. I don't want to follow Kang. I don't want to see him as a villain. I don't want him. Nothing about him makes any sense.
A different approach for a large-scale villain in the MCU. Thanos is in 2 movies, other than a few cameos where he just says, I'm gonna fucking kill those Avengers or whatever. But he doesn't really matter until the finale where he actually shows up and does shit. I think it would be very interesting to see a villain that impacts the world over time and really gets us invested. It's the complete opposite approach that they did with Thanos, and I think that, again, doing different stuff is a good idea.
But that alone doesn't make it good. Yeah, we need to do different stuff. We've had the fucking Marvel formula for years. We don't need... It doesn't just have to be different. It has to be different and good. Right? Just being different doesn't make it good by its nature. It's crazy to me. Yeah, Vulture was a great villain, actually.
And I like that this show introduces things like this. This show is very ambitious. We get to see sides of this world that have just not been explored yet. And I think that's the best thing to do in the MCU in its current...
I agree. Explore the weird shit. Do it. But think about the ramifications of what you're doing before you write it. Don't just throw powers like the TVA. Don't just throw their powers. Oh, they can fucking make time portals and they exist outside of time and they can go anywhere and everywhere in the universe at any point in time without thinking about what's gonna happen, what should happen, or what the ramifications of that fucking power is. It's crazy to me that you could be paid $1 million and just fucking, well, they can, make time portals big, small, whatever. You could literally, why do they spend time? Okay, my biggest gripe with this show, they're like searching for fucking Lady Loki for however goddamn long. When they go, they see a person at a timeline they're supposed to destroy anyway. They're like, oh, let's go check it out. Let's go see who that is over there. Why not just fucking delete them? Just, you have these grenade fuckers that delete everything in however big a radius. Just use them. Just do it. Why? Why go check out who's staring at you from a distance in a hooded cloak? Why? What's the point? There is no point. Just fucking, oh god, dude, it's such a waste. It's such a waste of time and energy, and everybody sucks.
State. You can't show us more of the same because we've seen the best that you can offer. We need
Change it up. Make it work.
Need new ideas or the formula is going to become stale. And I like the MCU, but I would not have been mad if it all ended after Endgame. So if you want to keep the people like me on board, we need more stuff like this. Because so far, Loki is the first...
Like this? Man, this is what keeps you on board? Oh, fuck, man. I mean, they lost me at WandaVision. They lost me kind of at Endgame. They killed it at WandaVision. But fuck, this is what's keeping Cosmo on board is Loki? Why? Because it's different? Because everybody's stupid? I don't get it. I don't know. I don't understand. Why do people like this? More products, yeah, why not? It's literally just advertisement for future shit. That's all Disney makes. And you just have to be hyped about it. And if you aren't, and if you think it's bad, yeah, oh shit, dude, you're not a part of the hive mind, better get the fuck out. I'll tell you that much. Jesus Christ.
Phase 4 property that has had me excited to see more. So, overall, I'm going to go ahead and give Loki an 8.5.
An 8.5? Dude, that's the same rating I gave Jojo Rabbit. And I feel like that was high. He gave an 8.5 out of 10 to Loki? Dude. Oh my god. Even if I took in everything, like cinematography, editing, pacing, CGI, literally everything. Mostly I just talk about writing. Writing, Loki gets a 2.5, maybe. Everything else taken into consideration, maybe a 4. That's like being generous, a 4. It is absolutely ridiculous. That's crazy, dude. Writing wise, it's 2.5 at best. Literally everything else considered, it's got fucking Disney money. It's a 4, sure. 1, I honestly, okay, 1, it's tough to justify, but I could see it. I could see a 2, 1.5, 1, whatever, dude. But 8.5? 8.5? Oh my god. Dude, what a fucking just... What do you call simps for Disney? Yes, that's what he is. He's a goddamn consumer. Oh, holy shit. 8.5?
Out of 10.
That's it. That's the end of the video. Gives it an 8.5 at Disnoid. Jesus Christ. Oh. Okay, so when you say you'd give Loki a 6, I'm talking absolute 10 scale. So like 5 is as average as you could possibly be. Loki is not above average. Loki is well below average. And especially in writing. Like that 4 was everything combined. In writing, it's like dude, I have a hard time saying 2.5, maybe 2. It's really fucking bad. I'm even trying to think, like... Oh, okay, maybe not a 2. Because I would put, like, Last Jedi as a 2. And Rise of Skywalker like a 2.2. Maybe. Dude, I haven't seen Space Jam yet. No fucking spoilers. A 6 is a passing grade, yeah. I think the 10, I think the 0 to 10 scale is fucking abused. Because like an average thing gets like a 7, which shouldn't be. Like that, it doesn't make any sense. Vader dies in Space Jam. Is he LeBron's dad? Yeah, I've heard really shitty things about Space Jam too. Okay, well, I mean, this is pretty much the end of what I had planned. I was thinking about playing Minecraft for a little bit after this. So if you want to stick around for that, would be lit. Would be chill af. But yeah, that's the end of responding to videos, and I gotta pee again. Been staying pretty hydrated, so I'm gonna take a 2-minute break and then I'll be back for Minecraft. But if you want to stick around, stick around. Shit. My mic was muted. Can you all hear me now? Thanks, Josh, for fucking watching out for me. Yeah, the B movie is absolutely my favorite MCU movie. MCU movie though, fuck, it's probably Infinity War. Also, just so you guys are aware, I have no idea how to play Minecraft. Like, I mean, I know the basics. Played for a little bit, but yeah, I think that's a big problem with Loki as well. Is that like, I mean, it's the same problem that the sequel trilogy had with people defending it. Is that it like it looks great and it ticks a lot of your boxes, but when you like actually have to think about it, it's like it's rough. And I'm Cardinal. Okay, I'm not a Zoomer. All right, I'm right on the edge of millennial. So, can you step off, please? Yeah, I know how to make a crafting table, okay? Fucking professional this shit. Also, mostly Gandalf, I know you're fucking watching. You should be in this stream with me, you fucker. You should actually be living with me. Can everybody in the chat give at mostly Gandalf some shit? 98 is when I was born. But can everybody give mostly Gandalf some shit for not moving in with me? That would be much appreciated. Where's Perry? Perry? Oh. Yeah. Wait, how the fuck? Can someone tell me how to third person in this game? Because I am Perry the Platypus, but I don't remember how to third person. Bro. I am probably a Zoomer, to be honest. F5? Oh yeah, it is F5. Yeah, I'm Perry the Platypus. Just so everybody's aware. Gandalf should join the stream. Thank you. Thank you. God, what a piece of shit. Also, I have no idea where I'm running to. I'm more just reading chat. But I made a crafting table, so. Stream's dying. Dude, this stream's been dying since it started. Where have you been? Just kidding, you've actually been here the whole time. I appreciate that. Redstone block. Don't say sorry. I feel like I recognize your profile picture. So if you're someone I know, I'm sorry, but yeah. He did let me down. Don't ever say sorry. He should be in here, in this room right now, talking shit on the sequel trilogy with me. But instead he's being a little bitch. Dude, what is this spawn? Thank you, Gandalf. In due time. How long is due time? I'm fucking 23. I'm basically dead. You're almost 24, you fucker. I should build in... Oh shit. You should build on this dick, Cardinal, because you didn't see this village. Starving to death. Bro. Got too much food. Whoa, what is this? Oh, grindstone, I think is what that is. Guys, I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of actually pretty drunk at this point. So, yeah. I don't know how long this stream is gonna last. Because I don't actually know what I'm doing. Who said I was starving to death? Who said that? Safe, Jewel. Get fucked. It's okay, I forgive you. As long as someone tells me how to speedrun this shit. Also, I'm pretty sure there's a way to, like, pull everything of a type out of a chest, right? Yeah, right? I went through some fucking trauma with that. That sequel video was one of the worst I've ever seen. And I've seen a lot of sequel videos. And, well, to be honest, it's a lot of the same shit. Like, the arguments haven't changed. And the movie hasn't gotten any better with time, so I don't know. Like, it never. It's just an endless cycle of shitty arguments about why the movie's good, and then people taking them down, and then people making the same fucking argument over and over again. Where I just want someone to explain to me why the sequels are any good, because they're not. Double click on the item while holding another item to quick transfer. Okay. Like double right click or double left click? Okay, guys, I'm gonna be honest. I think I might have lied to you. I don't know if I can do this stream by myself. Maybe one day if mostly Gandalf moves in with me, we can stream together, but Minecraft is kind of fucking boring by yourself. I'm tired and drunk. So would you guys be pissed at me if I left? It's my favorite movie. Set up a server. I probably will, actually, eventually. Everybody in this chat right now clicks the link in the description to join the Discord. I'll do it. What's my favorite movie? That's a really, really, really tough question. It depends on my mood, but most of the time I say American Psycho. Because I can't understand that movie, but I love it. Like, not in a, oh, this movie doesn't actually make any sense. It's like, I can't figure this movie out. Like, this movie feels like it's smarter than me kind of way. I like it. See, that's the thing. I don't think I could make a video on American Psycho because I think the movie's smarter than me. Oh shit. Oh, whoops. Get fucked, dumbass. Also, I have no idea what copper does. Oh, fuck. Did not read those patch notes, so. But whatever, I'll just mine it anyway. Yeah, Tenet, I enjoyed. I don't know if I think it was great, but I did really like it. But I haven't like really thought about it or talked about it enough to know how I feel about it. Vertigo is a great movie. Dude, but those are really good picks. Jojo Rabbit and Whiplash. As a drummer, I can say whatever. Fuck it. But I do love Whiplash. Whiplash is great. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I don't know if I'm just not really feeling this Minecraft stream right now. So I think I might just hop off. But I really do appreciate you guys all showing up, and I love the support and everything you guys do for me. Please, if you haven't, go check out the Discord. It's a lot of fun, and I'd love to see you guys there. So once again, thank you guys for showing up. Have a wonderful rest of your night, and I will too. Oh fuck, that didn't end it.